interrupt this program for an ABC 3340 storm alert from the Weather Authority.
So we have our first tornado warning. This is going to be for parts of Pickens County and West Alabama. So let's take a closer look at the polygon. The tornado warning is going to be in effect until 9 o'clock. This is for the possibility of a spin-up tornado in the line of storms. And you can see this will be including basically the northern part of Pickens County. Taylor is circling the circulation on radar, and this will be crossing the state line here in a few minutes, coming up toward the US 82 corridor. So Aliceville, you're not in this tornado warning polygon, but you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. So really everybody in Pickens County, if you're in a manufactured home, you should be sheltered for this line of storms. But if you are in a site-built home, especially in this tornado warning polygon here for the northern part of the county, you need to go ahead and go through your tornado precautions now. That is a small room, lowest floor, near the center, no windows, no mobile homes, and we don't want anybody in a car. And again, you can see the approximate arrival times up on the screen. We've got Carrollton probably passing north of there, but close at about 10 or 15 minutes, and then ultimately coming up on US 82 toward Reform. So again, we have a tornado warning in effect now for parts of Pickens County and West Alabama until 9 o'clock. This probably will not be a long-lasting type tornado, but a tornado is a tornado. But remember, with this line, the whole line could produce strong winds to knock down trees and power lines and cause damage. So it's going to be a different kind of night tonight. Typically, we focus in on little spots like this, and we can show you, hey, we've got a real problem right here. And sure enough, that looks like that could be a tornado. But remember, the entire line of storms, it's capable of producing winds of 50, 60 miles an hour or higher. And that in itself is problematic. But again, the reason we are here, this is a tornado warning in effect now for Pickens County, especially the northern part, in effect until 9 o'clock. And Dennis, if you can be sure that we're live on YouTube and Facebook back in the back, because we're going to be here for just a little bit with this. And again, we're watching damage reports coming out of Mississippi. Again, listen, all of Alabama and Mississippi, we've got damage from gradient winds out ahead of the line of storms. But in terms of with the line itself, I have not seen widespread, catastrophic, major, widespread damage at this point, which is good. But again, it's certainly going to knock down some trees and power lines, no doubt about that. So again, a tornado warning in effect now for northern Pickens County for the possibility of a tornado near the Alabama-Mississippi state line. That will be affecting the community of Pickensville. By the way, this is the Tombigbee River right here. And again, that'll be crossing the Tombigbee as a water spout if it's down for a few moments, and then crossing over into the rest of Pickens County, probably passing north of Carrollton, and again coming up here toward Reform or McShann. Let's back this out and show the whole line if we can. In fact, here's a new tornado warning polygon. I looked at that second circulation, this thing right here. So now we have a second tornado warning polygon that will be farther to the south, and this will include the rest of Pickens County. So basically all of Pickens County now is in a tornado warning polygon and a severe thunderstorm warning polygon. The second tornado is in northern Sumter County. This will include northern Sumter. And again, this will be affecting southern Pickens in extreme northern green. So that possible tornado is sitting on the Alabama-Mississippi state line. Aliceville, the ETA, if it affects Aliceville, about 8:43. And this particular warning is in effect until 9 o'clock, just like the first warning. So both of these tornado warnings in effect until 9 o'clock. Potential tornado here, potential tornado here. The southern one seems to be the dominant one at this point, and that is the higher concern, and that could be significant, again, based on that signature here. So if you're in the northern part of Sumter County, and again, this is going to be north of York, north of Livingston. This tornado warning does not include York or Livingston or Interstate 5920, which is right here. That's the interstate. But that'll be coming across northern Sumter, cutting really near the Greene Pickens County line. This is the Sipsey River. This is Pickens County. This is Greene County, Aliceville here, Benavola over here. So just be aware we have two distinct tornado warnings now in Pickens County. So I want to show the big picture, Taylor, if you don't mind, with the reflectivity so we can show the line itself. The line itself is a big deal because we've got potential for damaging straight line winds along the entire line of storms. And again, you can see the line cutting through Marion County, Lamar County, and then back into really the Alabama-Mississippi state line, about to move into Pickens and Sumter counties. And you can see the 2 tornado warning polygons here, but the Weather Service is blanketing the whole line with a severe thunderstorm warning polygon. So, and again, the advice I've been giving all day, and I'll stick with it based on the wind dynamics with this system, if you are in a manufactured home and if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning polygon tonight, I would treat that like a tornado warning polygon based on the wind fields involved with this system. I would be in a community shelter or just some type of site-built structure, a gas station, a restaurant, some fast food place, something like that. And again, we're noticing that we're starting to see some breaks in the line, and in these breaks, and especially down here, this is where the air is a bit more unstable. We'll be watching for storms that form. There's very little surface-based instability up here. The main issue is just going to be a lot of wind. And again, we're going to see these little spots of rotation in here, but clearly that seems to be the most significant one. So let's take a look at our circulation that is cutting up through parts of West Alabama. We now have a possible tornado. And let's look at the correlation coefficient. And again, we're in a spot where the radar coverage is not that good. We don't see any evidence of debris being lofted right now, but the beam is awfully high, and sometimes it takes a while for debris to be lofted to the beam height. In a case like this, we're looking down from Columbus Air Force Base, so we're not seeing anything at this point. But again, we'll go back to velocity, and there's very strong evidence of tight circulation in that storm in northern Sumter County. This is going to be north of Geiger or near Geiger. So again, this thing is going to be moving about like that. This is Pickens, this is Green, this is the Tom Bigby right here, this is the Sipsey River right here. So let's go back to velocity one more time, and I want to go a little tighter and show Highway 17 and some of the communities here in northern Sumter County to give people a pretty good idea of where they are. So, yeah, Geiger, that thing's really close to Geiger. That's Highway 17, and we got a possible, remember the beam is way off the ground here by 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 feet, and that tornado's coming right up through Geiger right now. And nobody should be driving along Highway 17. That is the main north-south road near the Mississippi state line in far west Alabama. So again, this is very strong evidence of a tornado right now on Highway 17, well to the north of York at Geiger in northern Sumter County. And again, this tornado is going to be cutting across the into northern Greene County here and maybe into parts of southern Pickens County. And Taylor's going to put a track on this. We'll put some of the approximate arrival times. And again, if this thing makes it to Aliceville, it would be about 8:44. And again, it seems like it wants to hug that Sipsey River. But again, this is Highway 14. This is the road that runs from Aliceville down to Utah. And you don't want to be on Highway 14 at this point between Aliceville and Utah. You sure don't want to be on Highway 17 right now. The tornado is basically sitting right on top of Highway 17. Again, it's a challenge looking at the damage reports because some of the damage reports we're seeing, it's from gradient winds, not related to storms. Some it's related to straight line winds, and there could be some tornado damage in here. So we have a lot of trees down. We have a lot of power outages. And again, that problem will only increase as the line passes through here. But that's a very significant rotation right there, very tight. It looks like a tornado, and it could be down. The radar beam, again, is way off the ground. We don't know for sure if it's down. We're not seeing debris being lofted yet. It's not technically a confirmed tornado, but that's a darn good signature. So you want to take this seriously if you're in northern Sumter. Again, from the community of Geiger back up here toward Pleasant Ridge. Pleasant Ridge and Lewiston, these are in northern Greene County, well to the north of Utah. Utah, you are not in the polygon for this tornado warning. You are for the line of storms. Everybody is going to deal with the line of storms. Everybody as it passes through tonight. But within the line like this, we could see a few spots where there's an isolated tornado. So this is the southern one. Let's look at the northern one here. And this one did not look very healthy the last time we looked up here. And I think this one is pretty much dissipated. There's really no evidence of a tornado at the moment in the northern segment of this. Again, we have two distinct tornado warning polygons. In the northern segment, we're seeing evidence of strong winds. Yes, and that's what we expect. But it looks like that brief circulation we saw earlier is pretty much dissipated. Again, that's Pickensville, that's Alabama Highway 14 that goes up toward Columbus. Reform is right here. This is Carrollton. And again, still, I would stay sheltered because you've got that line of storms coming in. It's a case tonight where just the right thing to do if you're in a severe thunderstorm warning polygon or a tornado warning polygon is just stay sheltered. Let's pop the reflectivity back on real quick, and I want to show where the line of storms is currently located, and it's now in extreme western Pickens County. And again, there's your line of storms, and it's getting kind of messy here. This is a messy convective type event here, but clearly within that line there could be some strong straight line winds. The evidence of a tornado has really faded for the northern part of Sumter County. But I want to take our Skycam, Taylor. Let's talk about that reformed Skycam. What you got for us over there?
So watching now, very heavy rain. Of course, it's dark, so it's going to be hard to see much unless we get some lightning that can kind of illuminate stuff. But still seeing the strong winds, lots of heavy rain. I'll kind of swing this camera around a bit to give you an idea of what we got going on. And so far, you can tell that the heaviest rain has not arrived here yet in reform. We've got pretty steady rain, but that line has not quite moved through yet. We've been watching this tree gust all day long in those pressure gradient winds, and this next round of heavy rain and strong winds is still moving through Pickensville. So it's going to be a little time before that push of wind gets to this camera, but for the time being, it is looking like we've got some just heavy rain, some gusts at times, and we'll of course be watching this camera as that line approaches to get a better idea of what things look like on the ground as that line moves through. I am getting a new message from the National Weather Service. They have now, they're continuing that tornado warning. A storm capable of producing a tornado was located near Pickensville. So we're going to continue this northern tornado warning. I'll take a look at the storm relative velocity here. Once again, it's not showing a super clear picture of what we would expect to see with a tornado, but there could be some rotation along that line, certainly strong winds regardless, and that's going to be very close to Pickensville where we're seeing evidence of some rotation at this point. So that northern warning, let's see here, that's going to go through 9 p.m. Same story with that southern warning, and still seeing pretty good indication of rotation here, moving near Fair Oaks. This is that same circulation that moved through the Geiger area. It's now crossed over Highway 17, and it's going to keep moving northeastward here at about 55 miles per hour, which is going to have it just clipping northern Greene County near the Ridge community, near Pleasant Ridge, and then crossing over Highway 14 in between Aliceville and very close to Pleasant Ridge if this holds together. So what I'm going to do here is I'll put on a storm track from that circulation, and we'll also check the correlation coefficient on this to see. There's that. So remember, this is if this storm holds together, and we're not expecting super long-lived tornadoes or anything like that. Typically with these QLCS tornadoes, they're usually fairly short-lived. But if this holds together, it could be moving, and as I'm saying that, it does look like with this latest radar scan, it is looking improved, at least with this latest radar scan. But if it does hold together, or if we see that circulation tighten back up, it could impact locations like Aliceville here at around 8:43. But you should be in that safe place regardless, because you are under a tornado warning. And I'm getting some new information here. Let's see. There's a new tornado warning. Okay, I think that is just south of our area here. So the southern portion now of Sumter County now included in a new tornado warning.
That's that circulation coming out of Meridian.
Yep.
So we've got 3 distinct circulations over here on the western side of the state. We've got one circulation that's affecting northern Pickens, one that is affecting southern Pickens, northern Sumter, and northern Greene, and a third circulation that's coming out of Lauderdale County, Mississippi, that's about to cross over into Sumter County. And let's point out that the southern circulation down here, this does include York, Livingston, and the campus of the University of West Alabama in Livingston. So if you are in really basically most of Sumter and most of Pickens counties, you need to be sheltered for various reasons, for these tornadic circulations like that, and for the line of storms itself, for the damaging straight line winds. And I've said this a lot, but it's true. If you're going to get, trees blown onto your house, what's the difference? Does it matter if it's damaging straight line winds or a tornado? Danger is danger, and you need to be in a safe place, and you need to be sheltered. And again, I would certainly put on a helmet for something like this. Remember, most people that are seriously injured or lose their life in a situation like this. It's blunt force trauma to the head, skull, and neck region. And a simple bicycle helmet, a motorcycle helmet, a batting helmet will really mitigate the potential of serious injury or loss of life. And it doesn't take that much to get that done. So for those people that are in these polygons, we recommend wearing a helmet. And another thing we're asking is that you could be a hero. If you know somebody in these polygons, send them a text message. Take a picture of this and say, hey, look, turn on the TV or watch us on YouTube. Again, down here in southern Sumter, that's over in the Meridian, Mississippi television market. But since we're on the air anyway for these, you can watch us on YouTube, the ABC 3340 YouTube channel, or ABC 3340's Facebook page. A lot of folks are watching right now around the country, globally. They just like to watch tornado coverage, but you can watch that from anywhere. So, again, if you're looking for a streaming way to watch us, go to ABC 3340's YouTube channel. Subscribe, and we're always there during long-form coverage, or our Facebook page, ABC 3340 on Facebook. So we've got a tornadic circulation that's going to be crossing over into southern Sumter County, down around Cuba and York. We have another tornadic circulation that's near or north of Geiger in northern Sumter, and again, that's going to be riding up, crossing Highway 14 soon, really probably between Aliceville and the Sipsey here. And this northern circulation, it doesn't look that good. It's still there, but it's awfully broad. But remember, everybody in Lamar and Pickens and Sumter, all of you, you're in a severe thunderstorm warning. And that's where we're going to see widespread wind damage. And with this line of storms, again, I can't call out landmarks. I can't do the thing we normally do here because it's just everybody gets it. It's a long line. So what I want to do is go back to the big picture, Taylor, and let's talk about Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, talk about the timing for some of the larger cities. And let me just say, the warnings have expired up here for Marion, Lamar, and Fayette. The Weather Service has opted not to extend them because they have not had reports of damage from the line itself. From the pressure gradient winds, yes. But this line doesn't seem to be producing winds greater than 58 miles an hour. That's the severe criteria. So for the moment, we do not have any severe thunderstorm warnings for Lamar, Fayette, or Marion. They've all expired. They've not been extended, which is great news. Gradient winds are still screaming. And remember, all of these counties are under a high wind warning because of gradient winds out ahead of the line. So we do not have any warnings now for Lamar, Fayette, or Marion in relationship to this line. The warnings involve possible tornadic circulations down to the south. For Tuscaloosa, the line will likely be in your vicinity about 9 to 9:15, maybe 9:30. And in Birmingham, 10 to 11. And Anniston, Gadsden, it might be midnight or later. And the storm should be weakening as they move into East Alabama because the air is much more stable. Dew points are in the 40s. The wind dynamics should decrease later tonight as the low-level jet begins to pull out of here. But right now, that low-level jet, about 5,000 feet off the ground, you got some 85-knot winds up there. And some of that's translating down to the surface. So, again, this line will be sweeping eastward. I really do think the higher tornado threat for really widespread type tornado activity is going to be south of here, but still, this is going to be in the Mobile television market or the Montgomery TV market. But let's focus again on this middle storm right here, the one that's coming up through extreme northern Sumter, and this is the one that has been producing the best tornado signature on radar. And if you're just joining us here, it's 8:33 on Wednesday, March 30th. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sarallo back in the Weather Center. And we are on the air because of multiple tornado warnings in effect for West Alabama. And again, the velocities have come down a little bit on that particular circulation that is sitting on the Pickens-Sumter County line near the Tombigbee at the confluence of the Sipsey and the Tombigbee right here. This is kind of where Greene, Pickens, and Sumter counties all come together. I will say that we can give an there's the circulation here. We can give an all clear for Highway 17 and points west in Sumter County. If you're in Geiger, the risk has ended for you. The concern now, it's up here for southern Sumter, and again, or for southern Pickens. This is Aliceville, this is Carrollton, this is US 82, Reform, and Gordo. But we've got that circulation that is sitting now in extreme northern Sumter, southern Pickens, and it looks like it might be moving just a little north of the Sipsey. And again, this tornado warning does not include Utah or Forkland. or any other part of Greene County. It's for just the extreme northern part here. Again, Pleasant Ridge and Lewiston, that's involved in that. Benevola and Pickens County is involved in this, and this is the Tuscaloosa County line. If by chance this thing survives the journey here, it will be clipping northwestern Tuscaloosa County. The city of Tuscaloosa is right here. This tornadic circulation will not affect the city of Tuscaloosa. But remember, everybody gets the line, that long line of storms tonight. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you're going to deal with it. And with the line, you're going to see strong winds, and there could be more wind damage to just make it worse. Again, it's been a rough afternoon with these pressure gradient winds. And again, the winds have gusted to 58 miles per hour at the Birmingham airport here in the last 15, 20 minutes. And accordingly, we have trees down, we have power outages. In fact, let's look at our power outage map real quick, Taylor, and I can let you talk our way through this. They're still pretty high.
Yeah, so we have been tracking these all day, and we've just seen them continuously grow. You can see, obviously, the yellow, Jefferson County, there are 12,000 people without power at this point. All of the brighter blues is anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 in Shelby County. We've got 1,500 people without power in Tuscaloosa County, 2,000 in Jasper, 1,000 in Lamar, and we've been monitoring the counties to our west over portions of Mississippi to kind of give us an idea of what the line is doing. But for now, I mean, the most power outages we've seen is actually just associated with those pressure gradient winds that we've seen outside of these thunderstorms, out ahead of these thunderstorms. And we do expect these to continue to grow as we move into the evening hours, because those winds are going to keep gusting until you get that line moving through. And then as that line moves through, we could see winds up to 60, 70, even 70 plus miles per hour if we can tap into those really strong winds just above the surface. Worth noting as well, we do have a tornado watch that covers all the counties in yellow here. That's going to last through 1 a.m. Notice it does not include our eastern fringe, but that could be extended. So we don't want you to kind of let your guard down just yet, just because you're not in that tornado watch. This could be extended farther eastward as we move into the evening, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. But as you can see, quite a few tornado warnings ongoing at this point across portions of west and southwest Alabama. And so what I'm going to do here is I'll take us back to the radar, and we will clear that. That's that circulation we're still watching that's about to cross over into southern Pickens County. And as the National Weather Service is saying, at this point, we don't have a clear indication of a tornado on the ground with any of these circulations. We're looking at rotation, but we're not looking at evidence that a tornado is on the ground at this point. But that doesn't mean that we won't have another tornado briefly touchdown or a weak tornado touchdown. So if you're in that polygon, we want you to stay put in that safe place. And as James has been telling you all night long, be sure that you're taking these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously as well, because these could produce straight line winds, which, as we've already seen, can cause damage. And that's not even from this strong line of storms that's starting to cross over from Mississippi into Alabama. So looking out to our south, there's a new tornado warning here for parts of Clark County to our south. That's the Mobile market. And those are some of the storms that are forming out ahead of this line. But that's where there's that better instability. That's where those storms have the better instability to tap into. And that's likely why they're seeing some of those storms out ahead of the line begin to rotate as well. Up here we are more stable. So we have a more stable air in place. I will actually put on this radar mosaic here and kind of zoom you out and notice really across the northern third of the state we've got one severe thunderstorm warning in the Huntsville market, but all of these warnings are really starting to kind of pop off to our south where we have those higher instability values. But let's take us back down to those tornado warnings that we do have ongoing in our market here. So all of Pickens County still included in a tornado warning through 9 p.m. And then we have the northern fringe of Greene County included in a tornado warning as well. So we're going to pop back on the storm relative velocity here and do a little investigating to pick out where we could have the rotation at this point. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to circle this. It does look like it's to the southwest west of Aliceville. That's where I'm seeing the best indication of where we could have that rotation occurring. That's going to be crossing over Highway 14 here pretty soon, and I'll highlight Highway 14. So you should not be driving on Highway 14 in between Aliceville and Pleasant Ridge. You should not be driving on Highway 14 between Aliceville and the Greene County line. So that's where we're going to likely have that circulation pass through next. I'm going to check the correlation coefficient here. And we're not seeing a strong indication of what would be a debris signature, which is good. We don't want to see that. If we don't have that, that likely means this tornado hopefully is not on the ground at this point. And based on what I'm seeing on this velocity, the signature doesn't look as great as it did a couple scans ago. When we first saw this crossing over from Mississippi into Sumter County, there was a pretty good indication that we had some strong rotation ongoing. But at this point, things are broadening out, but the winds are just strong. So we want you in that safe place, regardless of if you're dealing with a tornado in this situation or if you're just dealing with that severe thunderstorm warning. These could be straight line winds that are very strong as well. So stay in that safe place. Everybody in Pickens County should be in the safe place. Parts of Greene County, the northern part of Greene County, you should be in that safe place. We do not have a tornado polygon that includes the city of Utah, but you are included in that severe thunderstorm warning. So we're telling people, we're advising people to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings today in the same manner as you would a tornado warning. So as soon as you get that severe thunderstorm warning, go ahead and head to that safe place, just because we could have the potential for damaging straight line winds over the usual 60 mile per hour, which usually would prompt that severe thunderstorm warning. So once again, still tracking circulation here in southern Sumter County, that's just to the south of York, and kind of a similar situation like we had last week. It does appear that we're starting to get these circulations form to the south, and those southern circulations are starting to take over and starting to strengthen and kind of taking the energy away from some of those northern circulations. So this is where we could potentially have rotation as well, just to the south of York, and this is going to continue northeast, likely just to the south of York, and then it's going to cross likely to the south of Livingston here.
Let me, Dennis, let's take WEX 05 real quick. I want to show another big story here, Taylor. We've got so many fires that are burning at this point. This is video from Aniana Fire and Rescue, and you can see that they're saying that crews are battling a large fire in the Sawyer Mountain Road area. This is just west of Aniana. And again, this is a situation where these fires are spreading quickly. And again, I don't know if any homes are threatened here, but I wanted to show that real quick. Wow. Let's go back to the radar real quick with me, Dennis. And again, there's also just a lot of damage and a lot of fires in progress across the state. Let's go back to WEX 05. Again, this is what people are seeing, Taylor, in many, many parts of the state right now. It's horrifying.
I mean, that looks like California.
It really does. I mean, they're seeing these large, large fires whipped by this intense gradient wind. And again, just about every, of course, there's our state bird. The tramps are flying tonight. That's a greenhouse that was destroyed by gradient winds earlier today. So many trees are down. You can see a tree is on that truck. And again, these damage, what you're seeing here, this is not related to storms. This is the result of the straight line winds. Here's some video, and again, looks like a home security camera video of lightning. The storms are lighting up the sky there in West Alabama. More tree damage, and again, every county in the state is reporting this, but those wildfires are pretty intense. Again, this is more footage of some of the wildfires that are that our friends with the Forestry Commission are dealing with tonight in local fire departments and volunteer fire departments. It's just a nightmare. These things are spreading, and again, until the storms actually arrive and that rain comes in, it's just going to be a mess tonight. So understand, statewide, we've got downed trees, we've got power outages, we have wildfires, and we have tornado potential here on the western side of the state. It's a nasty night tonight. We knew going in it would be like this, and it's just not good. So again, Taylor has the tornado warning polygons highlighted here for Pickens County. And again, we're seeing evidence there could be some broad rotation near Aliceville. There's not really a classic signature here, but again, forget the tornado potential here. That line itself could produce winds to cause damage. So everybody should be sheltered in advance of that line of storms. But let's go down to the storm in southern Sumter. I think that's probably the best circulation on the board right now, is the one that you see down here. Well, it was I think this is Birmingham. Yeah, this is going to be from Columbus. And again, you can see evidence of a possible tornado here south of York. And most likely this tornado is going to stay south of York and Livingston, Bellamy and Belmont and places like that. And if that thing holds together, it could wind up in southern Greene County, which is here. Just be aware we have a possible tornado. Demopolis is right here. We'll keep a close eye on that as that will be crossing Highway 80. The Rooster Bridge is right here over the Tom Bigby. Demopolis is right here. That's Interstate 5920. So this is a tornado warning for southern Sumter County. And again, the greatest danger is really south of Interstate 5920. But York and Livingston on US 11, you are in the polygon for this tornado warning. And again, everybody in the polygon should respect the polygon and be sheltered. So let's go up to the other polygons quickly. And again, I'm going to do a reset and show a big picture in just a second. We've got the other polygons for parts of northern Sumter, northern Greene, southern Pickens, and the northern part of Pickens County as well. And again, we've got pretty decent evidence of what could be a tornado near or just south of Aliceville, down toward Pickens Academy, and that's going to be moving northeast, passing maybe just north of Benevola, and if that continues on that track, it'll come out on US 82, maybe near the Tuscaloosa County line, or maybe near the town of Gordo here. So again, that's a tornado that we see on radar near or just south of Aliceville, moving northeast. But I want to do a big picture, and let's show that line, Taylor. I want to show, remember, everybody within this line could see strong winds. Now, the good news, we do not have any warnings up here for Marion, Fayette, or Lamar. We've not seen evidence of winds in the line of 58 miles per hour or greater. The gradient winds, yeah, but within the line, no. That's the reason for no warnings here. The air is much more stable up and through here, but again, you can see the tornado warning polygons for parts of Pickens and Sumter counties. The line itself, right here, it's coming through Aliceville and Reform, will be in Tuscaloosa fairly soon, I'd say by 9:30. Birmingham, 10 to 11. I'd say maybe 10:30 to 11. And then Anniston, Gadsden after midnight tonight. That's the approximate timing. That's been the thinking all along. Let's go to this Reform Skycam that we have. And this is at Reform Elementary School. And Taylor, it's coming down.
It is certainly coming down. It's raining very heavily. This is going to be just now, this leading edge of this system is now moving through Reform. So this camera is just now starting to see those strong winds, starting to see the heavy rain. Of course, it's dark, so it's hard to see much, but that tree certainly starting to blow around more. And this is kind of the highest I've seen the winds gust in a while here. And this is as that leading edge is moving through this camera site here. Definitely looking at the lightning picking up as well. And so this will kind of give us an idea of what the leading edge of that line looks like in terms of the winds. And you can see those trees picking up there. And now, yes, definitely watching that line move through at this point. And that rain blowing around quite a bit. But so far, the good news is that all these circulations have been radar indicated, so we're seeing evidence of a circulation within the radar velocity, but we don't have. I've been monitoring so far. I have not seen any confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but this certainly. This rotation here just north of Aliceville, or really crossing very close to Aliceville, is probably the rotation that we have of highest concern at this point. This is where our the Reform camera is located, of course, in the city of Reform. And yes, we're seeing evidence of strong winds moving through there. And if we can take that camera again, there you go. You can really start to see it now. You can definitely tell that line's moving through now. This is what you're going to be dealing with. This is what everybody's going to be dealing with as this line moves through. So this is why we want you in a safe place, because you can see those winds are really starting to pick up now. There we go. Yeah. You can definitely see those winds now, the lightning picking up, and that tree is blowing around pretty good now. So that is going to be what a lot of you are going to be dealing with as that line moves through. As we continue really just to track this entire line. These QLCS events are hard because right along the leading edge, we're looking at likely severe thunderstorm warnings up and down the entire line. And then we have to monitor also for small rotations become embedded within that line, where we see that line kink up a bit. And these are hard to warn on as well, just because a lot of times these tornado warnings, they're going to come and they're going to go really quickly. But regardless, everybody's dealing with strong winds. So these events are sometimes really hard to message and hard to warn on. But the message that we really just want to make sure you guys all understand is that you should take all of these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously as well. And as you can see here, this is what that line's going to do as it moves through. You're really seeing that wind blowing that tree around, and that's why we like to look at this camera as well, is just because you can kind of use that tree as a reference there as the winds really pick up. And we continue to track this entire line moving eastward at about 55 miles per hour. So I'm going to take us back now. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity here. I'm going to switch between the different radar sites. And so I have what looks to me to be more of a straight line wind threat moving through the reform area right now. You just saw on that camera those really strong winds. But we're still watching this, what looks to be a circulation that is now just to the east of Aliceville. And this is going to keep moving northeast at about 55 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and put a storm track on this. And this is going to be if this holds together. So some of the cities that you're going to see are going to be outside of that warning polygon. This is the approximate arrival times if this circulation holds together. And as this circulation does get closer to the end of the polygon, that's of course when the National Weather Service will decide whether or not they want to extend this tornado warning. But if this holds together, it will be approaching close to the Gordo area at 9:07. But remember, you're already in the polygon, so you should be in that safe place as well. And if this holds together, this could be crossing over into the western parts of Tuscaloosa County. But that we're going to keep watching that, and we will see if that happens. Usually when we're talking about these QLCS type tornadoes, they're not super long lived. So we're not expecting long track tornadoes today. But we've got to monitor everything closely. And I'm looking for any kind of reports. James, have you seen any reports of tornadoes or anything?
No, I have not. And again, we're watching for the damage reports. And again, we're thankful for our team of sky watchers. We've got a large group gathered together, volunteer weather observers over on our Slack channel, and things are pretty quiet over there from the line. Now they're crazy with fires, down trees, power outages with the gradient winds ahead of the line. But with the line itself, we have not seen that many damage reports, which is a really good thing because we don't need any more damage. It's been bad enough today with all of these fires and with the down trees and the damage that we have. So let's go back to our big picture one more time, Taylor. Let's kind of put the larger view on here, and we can kind of see what we've got. You can see thunderstorms in progress over West Alabama. At the moment, there are no warnings for Marion, Fayette, or Lamar. Yes, it's thunder, lightning, windy. Everybody's windy. But for the moment, with this line segment, it looks like the winds are under severe limits. That's under 58 miles per hour. We have 3 tornado warning polygons, 2 in Pickens County, 1 for Sumter County in West Alabama. It's raining in Tuscaloosa, raining in Jasper, raining in Greensboro. But again, that line will be approaching from the west, and everybody needs to be weather aware tonight. And for a lot of folks, it's getting, for old people like me, you go to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and people are now thinking, do I need to stay up all night? Well, if you got a weather radio, you can go to sleep. That thing will wake you up in case there's a warning. It's very loud, and they work well. But again, we want you to be weather aware tonight. Be sure that you can hear warnings. And as we've advised during the course of the day today, pay close attention to severe thunderstorm warnings if they are needed. And we have had warnings earlier. In fact, we still do for all of Pickens, all of Greene, all of Sumter for this line segment here as the storms come through. And that's for damaging straight line winds. And if you come under a severe thunderstorm warning tonight, if you live in a manufactured home, I would take the same actions you would take as if that was a tornado warning. I would be in a community shelter, some type of shelter in a site-built facility. so that you'll be safe. You don't want to be in a mobile home or a trailer on a night like tonight with these kind of conditions. That's the advice. And certainly I would not want to be driving in this. And remember, out ahead of this, the winds are just howling statewide. Everybody. I mean, everybody's got gradient winds. The Birmingham airport had a wind gust of 58, and we've got trees and lines down in so many places across the state. Let's go back to WEX 05 real quick. I want to show you some more of these images coming in. Again, this is some damage from gradient winds today. And again, so many of these fires are burning tonight. It's very eerie. There's a large one that's located west of Aniana on Sawyer Mountain Road. That's really not that far from Aniana, just west of downtown. People can smell the smoke, and they're aware of that. And the fire department is obviously watching that carefully. But there are so many blazes around the state. Again, I think every single county has one of these things, if not multiple fires. Many of these were sparked by power lines that were arcing. When a tree came down on top of a power line, everything arced and a fire started. And with this kind of wind, those fires have just spread really quickly across the state. And again, so many trees are down. And unfortunately, in many cases, they are down on top of vehicles and homes. And again, this is a scene that is common. And again, what you're seeing here, this is not a tornado. This is not a thunderstorm. This is the result of gradient winds across the state throughout the course of the afternoon and earlier this evening. And those winds will continue until the line of storms passes. Once the line gets through, the winds die off and it's over. No more severe weather, no more high wind. Look at that thing, Taylor. Wow. State bird of Alabama. I mean, that thing is just, it's flying halfway to East Aboga or Andalusia. I mean, that thing is airborne. But look at these. This is just horrifying. And, you know, a lot of folks are nervous because obviously if you live in a neighborhood and you see this, you know, close by, you're thinking, goodness, where's the flames going next? We have this huge fire up in Wares Valley near Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge today. So many people are dealing with that. But let's go back to the radar. It's 8:56 coming up on 9 o'clock. The tornado warnings are in effect until 9, the two northernmost warnings. We haven't
seen whether or not they plan to extend them or not.
Right. And again, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for all of the counties over here for Greene, Pickens, and Sumter until 9:15. So we'll stay with this until at least 9:15 while these severe thunderstorm warnings are up. But again, tornado warning 1, 2, and 3. The dominant storm most likely is the southern one here, but just be aware that all of these are showing evidence of rotation here. But let's look at our southern storm first and see what this thing looks like. This is the storm that is coming through the southern half of Sumter County, so we'll kind of take a closer look. And it's awfully broad here and awfully noisy. And again, we've just got this crummy radar coverage here. I don't want to get on my soapbox. We talked about this the last time, but the beam is so high, the coverage is not good. We need a radar in Meridian or York, where it used to be for so long. But again, we don't have that really tight circulation we saw earlier, but still, the warning stays in effect until 9:15 here. So again, if you're still in southern Sumter, I would be sheltered, especially in Livingston and Point South, Bellamy and Belmont. Now, let's look up at the northern part of this thing. And again, this is going to be for Pickens County. And again, it's just evidence of strong winds up in here. Again, there's some circulation here, but that's not really a classic tornado signature. We don't see one here in the northern part of this. So I would imagine here in 2 minutes, it's 8:58, in 2 minutes, these warnings go away. And they'll look at this. Now, and again, you've got, circulation here. There's no doubt we've got this storm is spinning. And that is now in the eastern part of Pickens County. It's east of Aliceville. No evidence of debris being lofted north of Benevola, south of Gordo. And that'll be cutting across into western Tuscaloosa County. This is US 82, Buell, Coker, Romulus, Elrod. And we'll just see. I've not heard of any damage with this thing. So again, in about 1 minute, we'll see what the Weather Service does if they extend this into Tuscaloosa County or let it go. I'm pretty sure they'll let the northern one go. There's no evidence of any tornado up in the northern part of Pickens County at this point, but this circulation is going to be cutting across Highway 82 near the Pickens-Tuscaloosa County line, maybe a smidgen east of Gordo, then coming up toward Highway 171. That's the road from Northport to Fayette, which is right here. This is US 43, Lake Tuscaloosa sitting right here. One way or the other, this circulation will not affect the city of Tuscaloosa or the University of Alabama. It will stay north and west of there. This is a Skycam view coming from DCH Regional Medical Center, looking back to the west. Is the courthouse camera working, Taylor? The one on top of the courthouse, we'll check that and see, which is going to be a little closer to that. You look kind of looking back into that. And of course, we're not going to know. It's not working. Okay. So anyway, and on a night like this, everything's going to be rain wrapped. You know, this is not the most interesting television in the world, just showing radar the whole time. We'd like to show you a live stream of this. That's when you take action. You do better when you see it. And I understand that. That's human nature. But remember, in Alabama, so many of our tornadoes wrapped in rain. They're at night. It's just a big mess out here. So it is, we are now coming up on 9 o'clock right now. We just hit 9 o'clock, and these polygons, it looks like they're going to go away. We'll keep the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Pickens, for Sumter, and for Greene until 9:15. But I think the tornado warnings, the northern, yeah, they're gone. So we have no tornado warnings. But remember, as these storms come through, this line here, I would suggest you might want to consider you stay sheltered until the line passes. And once the line passes, you're done. We're not going to be here all night. This is a one and done kind of thing here. So once the line passes, you're done. For example, if you're in Vernon or Sulligent or Millport, your risk of severe weather is ended for tonight. And that's good news. And again, the line you can see is from near Winfield, curving down to just east of Fayette, then down to about Gordo, then down to about Pleasant Ridge in Greene County, then down into southern Sumter County. And this line will be coming through Tuscaloosa about 9:30 to 10 o'clock tonight. Birmingham, 10:45, 11 o'clock, something like that, probably after midnight for Anniston and Gadsden. And again, I stress that there's no warning up here for those of you in Marion or Fayette or Lamar. And I know the weather's nasty, thunder, lightning, rain, and everybody's got wind. And it's a confusing situation because we have gradient winds. Everybody's had that today in the whole state. I mean, everybody's had the gradient winds, but they'll be calming down. You see this right here. That represents that line. And notice there's just nothing happening back here. There's hardly any wind at all once the storm passes. So once that line passes, this will settle down. Birmingham's gust, the latest gust here is 43. But once we get that line through, thunderstorm winds are done, gradient winds are done, the event is done for you. Power outages, we're looking now at approximately 16,000 in the Birmingham metro and in Jefferson County, 1,500 for Shelby County, about the same for Cullman County, Tuscaloosa County, Jasper, about 2,000, Etowah County, about 1,000. And again, there could be some outages, small ones in the other counties you don't see highlighted there, but that's the result of the gradient winds that we have seen today. So we are now at 9:02, and we have one tornado warning that is in effect, and that is in effect for southern Sumter County, and that is in effect until 9:15. This one right here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, and we have a new warning for Fayette and Tuscaloosa, which I knew that was going to happen here, so a new severe thunderstorm warning. So let's look at this right here. This is our new polygon for the possibility of damaging straight line winds. So we now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for about the southern half of Fayette County and about the northern half of Tuscaloosa County. This is basically in the zone from Tuscaloosa and Northport up to Fayette and Berry and Hubbardsville because the line is approaching. And again, you can see there's some broad circulation still here in Pickens County, and there could be an isolated tornado within this, but everybody's going to have the chance of damaging straight line winds. So if you are from downtown Tuscaloosa north, Northport north, up 43, 171, 69, up to Fayette, Berry, Hubbardsville, that is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10. And we're going to stay with this. So again, we're going to be here until at least 10 because of this. And again, the line will continue moving on to the east with time. And again, the line itself should be in the city of Tuscaloosa, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. Birmingham, 10:30 to 11 o'clock tonight. And these are all severe thunderstorm warnings. But remember, our advice all day today has been to take them seriously. So, Taylor, any damage or what you got working over there? It's been pretty quiet.
We just got a new tornado warning that was just issued right now for Pickens and Tuscaloosa.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the deal. And again, they're looking at this right here. And I think that's the right thing to do. This is a circulation that could produce a tornado. And so this is your tornado warning polygon. And again, this is for parts of eastern Pickens and northern Tuscaloosa counties. The tornado warning polygon does not include the city of Tuscaloosa. It doesn't include the campus of the University of Alabama. It includes the northern part of Tuscaloosa County. And again, this is US 43. Samantha sits about right here. Northport is down here. This is Highway 171, Brownville, Moores Bridge going up toward Fayette. So this is a tornado warning polygon for the possibility of a tornado that will be crossing over into Tuscaloosa County out of Pickens County here in a matter of minutes. Again, this was just issued a couple of minutes ago, and the tornado warning is up until 9:45. The tornado moving northeast at 50. And again, Gordo is in the polygon in Pickens County. The community of Kirk, which is right here. And again, Buell is in the polygon. Elrod is in the polygon. Brownville, Moores Bridge, Samantha, and Wyndham Springs. These are communities over the northern part of Tuscaloosa County. In fact, let's do a track on that, Taylor, if we can. We'll take a look at some of the projected arrival times for this. And remember, don't get out and try and see it. This thing is rain wrapped. This is a very messy situation tonight where you're not going to be able to see a tornado. That's just not going to happen. And remember our advice, if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning polygon, I would be sheltered too. But again, for the tornado warning, these are the approximate arrival times. Brownville up Highway 171 at 9:20. You got Cove Park at 9:26, Bridgeview at 9:27. These are communities up here in the northern part of Tuscaloosa County. So that's the situation. Now, older legacy warning systems might be sounding in Tuscaloosa, but I want to stress that if you're in the city limits of Tuscaloosa, this does not include you. This is for the northern part of Tuscaloosa County for that possible circulation right here that's going to be moving about like that. And again, we'll see if that continues to show evidence of circulation, but it looks pretty good at this point. And I think that's the right call. Are we expecting long track tornadoes on this end of the state? Probably not. I think there could be some down in South Alabama tonight where there's unstable air, but the wind dynamics are so strong with this system that it's overcoming the lack of instability and producing these small spin-up tornadoes. And again, I don't like to use the word small or weak with a tornado. Let me tell you what, you think an EF0 tornado is weak, you go out and stand in one or drive through one or let one hit your house, and you'll see weak is not really a good word to describe an EF0 tornado. And by the way, Dennis, I'm seeing some live video here. Where's the dash cam? Do you know offhand? Okay. All right, Bill Castle and Quinn, and if I stare at that long enough, I'll probably figure out where these guys are. They have been, no, I don't think so, Dennis. They have been up in the northwestern part of the state. We'll find out here in a second. We'll go back to radar. And again, for those of you just joining us, it is 9:07, and we are working a line of severe storms pushing through West Alabama tonight. The entire line is capable of producing damaging straight line winds. The whole line. I'm sorry, Dennis, where are they? Okay, I got you. They're in Walker County. Again, but within the line, we have areas of circulation, and Taylor is highlighting the possibility of a tornado that is near the Pickens-Tuscaloosa County line, about 4 miles, 5 miles southeast of Gordo. This is US 82, and I don't want you driving on 82. If you're listening to us on the Town Square media stations in Tuscaloosa, 95.3 The Bear and all their sister stations, I don't want you driving on US 82 between Coker and Gordo until this thing passes. Don't do that. The worst possible place to be is a car. And understand, with this kind of wind that's howling out there, it's not a good night anyway with a really heavy rain, but nobody should be on US 82 between Coker and Gordo for about the next 15 minutes. And I would also make the same recommendation for Highway 171 from Northport up to the Fayette County line, and US 43 from Northport all the way up to the Fayette County line. There's no point in being out there tonight. Doesn't make any sense. You don't want to be out there in these howling winds, driving rain, a tornado warning polygon in a car. And I know it's inconvenient. People are trying to get home, but you just don't want to do that. So nobody driving on US 82 between Coker and the Pickens County line, Gordo. Nobody should be on Highway 171 from Northport to the Fayette County line. Nobody on Highway 43, US 43, between Northport and the Fayette County line. And again, you see the southern edge of the polygon. It's right around Tuscaloosa County High School. and points north. That'll give you a pretty good point of reference. And this includes Highway 69 as well. Wyndham Springs, the town of Samantha's in this, Northside High School. So that's the situation here. But again, the tornado warning for northern Tuscaloosa County will be in effect until 9:45. And let me say that our friend Chief Vaughn down in Sumter County for the southern storm, he's reporting that Livingston Fire reported hearing trees snapping and a roar in the Livingston area south of the station. So again, that's our Sumter County storm in southern Sumter County. And again, that is in the Meridian, Mississippi TV market. Whenever we have multiple warnings, we have to focus on the ones that are in our home market here. But just be aware that southern Sumter County remains under a tornado warning until 9:15 for about 5 more minutes. But this warning for Tuscaloosa County, northern Tuscaloosa County, stays in effect until 9:45 tonight. The line of storms, remember, and again, we can point this thing out. It's sitting on the Pickens-Tuscaloosa County line on US 82. But the line itself, that whole line, is capable of producing strong straight line winds. Within the line, we have these embedded circulations. The other circulation is the one down here in southern Sumter. This is the one coming through Tuscaloosa. That's a good shot of both of these tornado warning polygons. But remember, everybody's under a severe thunderstorm warning for ahead of the line, Pickens, Sumter, Greene, and the northern half of Tuscaloosa County, parts of Fayette County. So if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, you know what? If I were home, I just might want to, go downstairs and get into a small room, into that safe place, and just kind of slap a helmet on just to be sure. Because if a tree comes through your house, that's a big problem. And that's the greatest concern we have with the line of storms knocking down trees. You see what's happened today. We've got hundreds of trees down statewide from gradient winds. And this line will do the same thing tonight as it comes on through. And again, with folks at home now, mostly, we just don't want anybody hurt tonight. That's always the object of what we do. Everything we do is geared to prevent loss of life and mitigate injury from this type of weather event. So, again, we've got a tornado warning now for Greene County. The Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for Greene until 9:45. And again, Taylor is circling that circulation that is coming out of Sumter. And this is located right here. And again, to get your bearings straight, that's Interstate 5920. This is US 11. This is US 43. Possible tornado here, and it looks like it's going to be crossing US 43, maybe a little north of Forkland. So we don't want anybody driving on Highway 43 between Utah and Demopolis over the next 15 minutes. Again, for those that are listening by radio, is we have a tornadic circulation that will likely be passing north of Forkland, crossing Highway 43. And if that thing stays together, it's going to cross it's basically sitting on the Tom Bigby right now. That's the boundary between Greene and Sumter counties. And that thing will probably be crossing the Warrior soon. If that thing holds together, it's going to wind up in Hale County, which is right here. And again, if you're in Sawyerville, goodness gracious, you've suffered so much over the last 15 years with tornadoes. But if you're in Sawyerville, just heads up. And again, if you're in a mobile home out here in Sawyerville or Wedgeworth, you just might want to get to a shelter now. Remember, everybody within this line, we want people in mobile homes or manufactured homes sheltered. Yes, we have the tornado warning, but the line itself, that's good reason to do that. So again, Akron, Sawyerville, Wedgeworth, be sheltered. If you're in southern Greene County, Bolaji, Utah, points south, you're under a tornado warning. If you're in the polygon, respect the polygon and get into a safe place. So that's our tornado warning for Greene. We're going to have to bounce back and forth between two circulations here. Let's go to Tuscaloosa County and look at this one that is sitting on the Tuscaloosa Greene County or Tuscaloosa Pickens County line right here. The velocities are ramping up. There's a pretty good chance there could be something there. Let's check the debris tracker, which is correlation coefficient, and we are noticing a negative spot right here, which means the radar is suggesting there's something that doesn't correlate with raindrops or hydrometeors. It's something different. That could be a part of a building, a tree limb, debris, dirt from the ground. So we're starting to see evidence now of a debris signature on radar with this storm that is, again, in far, far, far western Tuscaloosa County. The tornadoes crossed over Highway 82, and that will be coming out here across Highway 171 soon. You've got Moore's Bridge here, Brownville right here, and again, this is north of Northport. But we certainly would urgently now recommend those of you that are north of Northport up Highway 171 toward Brownville and Morris Bridge to be sheltered. And in your safe place, helmet. And remember, you can be a hero in the process tonight. If you know anybody in these places that Taylor is highlighting, zip them a text message and say, turn on the TV. You know, watch the guy in the suspenders. He's on the TV. He's talking about this stuff. This is serious business. Call them and let them know, because so many people are not watching conventional television sometimes this hour of the day. So again, strong evidence of a tornado now that you could see in Arcola and Brownville. This is out here in the western part of Tuscaloosa County. The circulation is passed north of US 82. So if you're south of US 82 or along US 82, the danger is over. You can now resume driving on US 82. We do not want anybody driving on Highway 171 between Northport and the Fayette County line. Nobody driving along US 43 between Northport and the Fayette County line. And again, if you're anywhere near Northside High School, Samantha, you need to be sheltered, as we've got a very strong evidence of a tornado that probably is down. Let's go back to the correlation coefficient product, and we'll see if we still have there's our tracker, by the way. We'll put some of the approximate arrival times up there. We have Samantha at 9:28, New Lexington, that's near the Fayette County line, at 9:33, Wyndham Springs at 9:36. So just be aware of that. Now we'll put the debris tracker back on, and again, we don't see that intense negative spot we saw earlier, but still there is a lowered CC value there, so it certainly could be down. And again, this is getting some other reports, by the way, from Sumter. Just again, this is for the southern one down in southern Sumter County. Tree debris and other items in the roadway just east of the West Alabama campus. Structural damage to the Rush Medical Group in Livingston. This is damage in Sumter County from earlier this evening, and the tornado warning, that rotation has moved into Greene County. So again, what I want to do is go back down to Greene County. I'm going to have to bounce back and forth between two tornadic circulations here. So again, bear with us. We're going to give everybody equal time. Northern Tuscaloosa County, stay sheltered. This is our Greene County storm. Let's put the velocity back on here, and we'll see if we can find the couplet. And it's gotten awfully noisy. But this thing came through Livingston, and again, from Chief Vaughn, he says structural damage to the Rush Medical Group in Livingston, that's on US 11, debris, other items in the roadway just east of the University of West Alabama campus. And so again, we apparently have had some damage going on down in Sumter, and that circulation has become broad, but still it could cycle again. And everybody in Greene County in this polygon, this includes most of Greene County, stay sheltered. The greatest risk is going to be south of Utah, north of Forkland. And again, nobody should be driving along Highway 43, but that's awfully broad at this point, but that could recycle again. So that's Greene County. Let's go back up to Tuscaloosa County. And again, you can see right there, that's our tornadic circulation that's coming up on Highway 171 near Brownville. And if you're anywhere near that spot, you need to be sheltered. No mobile homes, no cars. You want to be on the lowest floor of your home in a small room near the center, no windows, as many walls between you and the outside as you can. So again, this is a very significant event for the state. We've already had a very significant event during the day today based on the gradient wind damage already. And I know we have a lot of fires that are burning. A lot of people have some fear tonight. They see these fires burning, and that is horrifying. I will say that. And again, as we get good information, we'll pass that on to you. I'm not going to pass along rumors. We'll pass along things from official sources. But we're seeing that lowered area right here, which would be the possibility of debris being lofted by a tornado that's approaching Highway 171. And again, I stress for those of you mamas and daddies with students down here at the University of Alabama, it might be spring break week there, but still a lot of folks concerned about Tuscaloosa, UA. This is all north of the city. The city of Tuscaloosa is here. City of Northport is here. You can see where the tornado warning is located. This is far north of there. Again, here's the split, 171 going up to Fayette, 43 going up to Lake Tuscaloosa. This is going to clip the far northern part of Lake Tuscaloosa. But again, nobody should be on 171 or 43 north of Northport, and the same thing for Highway 69 up here around Wyndham Springs up toward the Walker County line. That possible tornadic circulation very close to the town of Brownville on Highway 171. And next, that'll be crossing Highway 43. Most likely, it's going to be crossing Highway 43 north of Samantha, north of Northside High School, Walker Elementary School, which is right here. But again, everybody up here, the community of Gorgas sits right here. And again, Taylor's suggesting that we might have two circulations here, and that could easily happen with a situation like this, with these type of dynamics we have. So again, Taylor, any damage reports out of Tuscaloosa? I've not heard of any. Tuscaloosa County so far?
None yet. I know we had that debris signature at one point, so I assume that there were at least some trees or something that has been damaged from this. But let's see here. We have the debris signature noted on radar, which we were just talking about. So far, I've just seen reports coming in from that Sumter County circulation near Livingston. But as of for the moment, I have not seen any reports of damage at this point. But we did have that debris signature, so that tells us that there was something being lofted, whether that be just tree limbs, leaves, that could be. But at this point, haven't seen any reports in the chat or anything like that. But still showing pretty good rotation here on this. Let me switch between the Columbus radar and the Birmingham radar. I'm getting different vantage points. We're looking at different heights in this storm, and it does appear that we still have what could be two circulations, one to the north of Brownville and then one to the south of Brownville. And these are both moving to the northeast at about 50-55 miles per hour. So if you live in Gorgas, you're going to want to stay in that safe place. You should already be there anyway, but stay in that safe place. Let's take a closer look here using correlation coefficient, and we definitely have what appears to be a tornado on the ground at this point south of Brownville. That is a pretty good indication that we've got debris being lofted. So there we go. There's that confirmation. It's going to be moving in the general direction. It's likely going to cross somewhere in between Gorgas and Samantha here, but that's probably the best debris signature we've seen all day. So we have at this point what is now a confirmed tornado on the ground, and you're seeing that debris signature grow, which means we are likely dealing with a tornado that is still on the ground and lofting quite a bit of debris. So when we start to see those blues show up, this is moving very close to Brownville at this point, moving towards the Montgomery Lakes community. This is moving towards State Route 171, so it's going to be crossing over 171 here pretty soon. And I'm going to say a couple different road names, and if these roads sound familiar to you, if you know anybody that lives on these roads, or make sure you're giving them a call. Make sure you're letting them know, hey, there's a tornado on the ground. This is going to be moving in the general direction of Harless Road, Brown Road, what looks to be Mormon Road. Let's see here. Old Fayette Road would be next up as well. North Side Road, this remember is in Tuscaloosa County. So if you know anybody that lives in and around these roads, give them a call, give them a text, or if you live near one of these roads, you need to be in that safe place. We're talking about now what is a tornado on the ground.
Don't fool with this.
Yeah.
Do not fool around with this. This is serious business. We've got a tornado that's down. This is confirmed. North Tuscaloosa County. It's right on Highway 171 right now at Brownville. And again, what's going to happen, it's going to move up this way, and it's going to cross Highway 43. Again, Samantha's here, Northside High School, Walker Elementary School. This will be near or just north of there. And again, if you're anywhere near Samantha, you've got to be sheltered. You've got to be sheltered now. And what you're going to do is have a helmet on. You're going to have a bicycle helmet, a batting helmet, a motorcycle helmet, anything you can to protect your head. And you cannot be in a manufactured home. You cannot be in a car. You can't do that. And do not walk outside and think you're going to see this. You have no hope if that's the case. This thing is rain wrapped. You can't see it. But again, there's the debris signature right now. It's crossed over Highway 171. The tornado is now east of Highway 171. And next up, it's going to be crossing U.S. Highway 43. So this is a confirmed tornado that is down in northern Tuscaloosa County with a tornado debris signature confirmed by radar. And again, this is an urgent situation where we need everybody to be sheltered, okay? That's your tornado right here, east of Highway 171. This is U.S. Highway 43 right here. The community of Gorgas is here. The community of Samantha is right here. Wyndham Springs back behind my head. That's on just off Highway 69. Nobody should be driving on U.S. 43 from Northport north up to the Fayette County line. Nobody should be driving on Alabama Highway 69 from Northport up to the Walker County line. Nobody. You don't want to be driving. The worst possible place to be is in a car in a situation like this. And again, for everybody in these neighborhoods up in here, you've got to stay sheltered. We can now give an all clear for those along Highway 171 or points west from this tornado. Remember, you got the line of storms you're dealing with. And again, I would stay in a safe place until the rain settles down and the wind settles down. When the line passes east of you, that's it. The risk of severe weather is ended for tonight. But again, this tornado is headed right toward Highway 43, and it's going to be near or just north of the community of Samantha. And from there, it's going to cross Highway 69 if it stays down, probably near or north of Wyndham Springs. And if it stays down, it could wind up in Walker County. So this is an urgent situation for people in northern Tuscaloosa County. A confirmed tornado debris signature. It's there. No doubt about that. And again, you've got to be sheltered. So that's the current position right there. And again, you can see it's getting awfully close to Highway 43. Now, I don't want to leave out Greene County, so let's go back to Greene County really quickly. We're going to bounce back and forth between this and the other tornado warning we have here. And remember, everybody's going to deal with this line of storms. So let's look at velocity, and we're going to take a look at Greene County. And we have evidence of broad circulation. That's not really a classic tornado signature. Broad circulation that is passing north of Forkland in the vicinity of Utah. Really not showing evidence of a tornado here at this point, but still, stay sheltered. Forget tornadoes. You got that line of storms with a chance of damaging straight line winds. Tornado damage has been reported with this back in Livingston in Sumter County. So again, at the moment, we're not seeing strong evidence of a tornado here, but with the line itself, you could see damaging straight line winds. We have a multi-threat night tonight. Gradient winds, damaging winds with the line of storms, and a few isolated tornadoes. So again, we're not seeing evidence of a tornado in Greene County, but wind damage, a distinct possibility. I would stay sheltered. As long as you're in that polygon, the warning stays in effect until 9:45. Let's go back now to northern Tuscaloosa County for a well-defined tornadic circulation that is located north of Northport, between Northport and the Fayette County line. That's located just off to the northwest of Samantha. And again, you can see on the debris tracker that lowered correlation coefficient. And this is going to be passing between Samantha and New Lexington. That's up on the Fayette County line. The community of Gorgas is right here. This is Wyndham Springs along Highway 69. And again, that's your tornado debris signature right here. It's getting awfully close to Highway 43. It's probably almost on US 43 now. I'd say it's passing maybe 3 or 4 miles north of Northside High School. But if you're in the polygon, you got to stay sheltered. So that would include everybody in the community of Samantha or near the schools there. But again, that debris signature is going to be crossing Highway 43 in a matter of minutes and then continuing moving out into the northeastern part of Tuscaloosa County. And I'm not going to waste time showing you sky cams from Tuscaloosa because you can't see anything at this point. This warning will stay in effect until 9:45. And again, the Weather Service is showing a thunderstorm near Samantha moving northeast at 50. These things are flying through here. And we've got Bill Castle and Stephen Quinn. They are in the process of moving down into Walker County to intercept this cell. And they should be coming down toward Oakman. And again, they're on Highway 69 right now. So again, if this stays down, we do have a crew that will be intercepting this. And again, even with the crew almost right there, they're not going to be able to see much because of the rain. So again, an all clear from this tornadic circulation from Alabama 171 west. You're good from the tornadic circulation. But again, it's about to cross Highway 43, US 43. This is about 20 miles north of Tuscaloosa. And the good news, the lowering has started to fade. Let's go back to the velocity, and I think we've lost the velocity signature as well. There's still broad rotation here, but this is not the tight circulation you would typically associate with a tornado. So I think there's a decent chance that our tornado might, at this point, maybe it was choked off within this and it's gone, but again, it could cycle back up again. That was the case. We had this for a while in Pickens County. We lost the signature. It came back. And again, we'll just kind of sit back and wait and see if this cycles up one more time. It's 9:28 now. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sarallo back in the Weather Center working a severe weather event tonight. And I want to very quickly show the big picture and our line of storms reflectivity. Let's do a reset here for a lot of folks that are just joining us. So let's go out to the longer view. And again, you can see a line of storms that's somewhat, it's noisy, it's messy. This is not a really sharp line, but it's running from near Haleyville down to about Eldridge, Samantha and Tuscaloosa County, down to Utah and Greene County to near Demopolis. And we've got severe thunderstorm warnings up here in the Tennessee Valley. The Weather Service in Huntsville issuing severe thunderstorm warnings here, but Winston County and Walker County not under any type of warning at this point, other than a high wind warning for the gradient winds. And again, it's hard messaging this in that we have three problems. Gradient wind, not related to storms. We have straight line winds with the line of storms and the chance of isolated tornadoes. So there's a lot of things happening here, but again, we don't have any warnings in relationship with the line for Walker or Winston counties at this point. We have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of southern Fayette, northern Tuscaloosa counties for the line segment, and the tornado warnings, obviously, are the flashing red polygons we have here. This line will be in Tuscaloosa pretty soon. Again, the good news, Taylor, I've just not heard of any widespread damage with the line. The bigger problems have been the gradient winds today before the storms arrived, which is good. And if that continues to be the case, the Weather Service might decide not to issue severe thunderstorm warnings for a little bit. But when these circulations pop up, you've got to be careful. You've got to keep your head on a swivel here. I mean, these things pop up and they can get down and they can cause a lot of problems here. So we have two polygons, one for a pretty good chunk of Greene County, one for the small segment of northern Tuscaloosa County. So let's go back to Greene County. We'll start on the southernmost storm and see if we can find evidence of a tornado down here. And again, the warnings are set to expire in 15 minutes at 9:45. So let's look at velocity, and no. There's no evidence of a tornado in Greene County at this point. Straight line winds, yes, you could see very strong straight line winds, but again, for now, we do not see any really strong evidence of a tornado. Let's go to northern Tuscaloosa County for the second polygon up here. And again, evidence of strong straight line winds, but we don't have that classic signature. This is what's left of that broad circulation we've been watching here. It's right on Highway 43 near the town of Gorgas, north of Samantha. It's broad, though. It's not the tight circulation we saw earlier. And now it's a matter of waiting and watching. And if it stays broad, the Weather Service will allow both of these to expire in 15 minutes at 9:45. And just maybe we'll go without a warning at 9:45 for anything. We'll see. But again, it's been a really rough night. I will tell you, there are so many fires that are burning across our state. It's just horrifying. For if you were in a neighborhood and you can see flames out your backyard. We've had trees falling on power lines. The power lines arc, fires start, and with these excessive winds, the fires have just absolutely spread very, very quickly through the state tonight. Let's go to WEX 05 really quick. This is coming from Chaco Springs Road. This is north of Talladega. And again, Chaco Springs is a popular place where a lot of folks go to conferences and events there. Youth groups go there a lot. I don't know if there's been any damage to Chaco Springs. This is on Chaco Springs Road. And I want to stress we've heard of no damage to that. So that was coming from Talladega Fire and Rescue. This is coming from Coosa County. And again, this is more example of what people are seeing here tonight, these fires fanned by the flames. That's down in Coosa County tonight. And again, we've had major fires in Talladega. This is coming from Sawyer Mountain Road near Aniana. And a lot of folks in Aniana are greatly concerned about that fire. And again, we'll watch this carefully. If we get any official information, we'll pass that along here. So we're dealing with so many things here: tornadoes, winds, fires, down trees and power lines. I've heard of no locust plagues tonight, but at the rate we're going, who knows? It's raining in Birmingham, just pouring rain, raining in Tuscaloosa. The main line of storms, the one we've been watching all night coming through Louisiana and Mississippi, it's right here. Double Springs, down to Natural Bridge, down to Eldridge, down to about Berry, down to about Coker, and then down to Utah and Forkland and near Demopolis. And we now have a tornado warning for Perry County, which is interesting in that that's out ahead of that line. The Perry County's in the Montgomery DMA, but let's look at that, Taylor, because a lot of people watch us here and online. And yeah, there you go. So a possibility of a tornado just south of Marion, and this is going to be moving north-northeast like this. So again, if Marion is in the polygon, MMI, Marion Military Institute, this is Highway 5. Heiberger sits about right here. So just be aware that a tornado is possibly down in Perry County, and that will be coming up through the eastern part of Perry County. The town of Sprott is located right here. That's Alabama Highway 5 coming down out of Brent. Heiberger here, Marion here, Sprott here. So just be aware that that is moving up, and if that thing holds together, you got Bibb County here, which is one of our counties. But again, Perry County is in the Montgomery television market. So we'll let Josh and our friends down there kind of handle that for you, but we'll watch that carefully. And again, we will, as long as we're here, we'll cover that. We're going to bounce back and forth between these. So let's go back up to Tuscaloosa County, and we're going to look at this one. And again, you can see the broad circulation that's left over right here, which is now east of US 43. So for this circulation, we can give an all clear from US 43 west. The broad circulation is now east of Highway 43 right here, coming up near the Fayette County line. Berry is here. This is Boley Springs. This is in Fayette County. And again, that circulation is moving in this direction. So again, if you're in Boley Springs, you've had tornado issues over the years too. It's kind of like Sawyerville. You call out these smaller communities and you think of the bad luck they've had even back to April 27, 2011. But there's no tornado warning for Fayette County. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Fayette County for the line itself. That severe thunderstorm warning includes Fayette County, eastern Fayette County, and the northern part of Tuscaloosa County. But that broad circulation is now east of US 43, moving up toward that boot heel, that easternmost part of Fayette County. Not the most classic tornado signature here, but still, it certainly bears watching. So again, a small segment of northern Tuscaloosa County under a tornado warning for this broad circulation that is now east of Highway 43, north of Gorgas, east of New Lexington, about to cross the Fayette County line, and we'll see how that works out. Let's go back to Greene County. And again, these tornado warnings are set to expire at 9:45 this evening. And see right here, that's what's left of the circulation. This is near the dog track, the old green track facility right here, the Union exit, if you will. The track is probably right here. It looks like it's a little east of the track, of Green Track. But again, we've got evidence of circulation here. This is Knoxville. This is Ralph. This is southwestern Tuscaloosa County. And again, it's not the most classic signature in the world. In dealing with these things, it's not easy. I mean, I'm telling you, I am so glad I don't work the warning desk at the Weather Service. It's not easy. You do not want to generate false alarms, but at the same time, you don't want to miss a tornado. And when do you press the button? When do you keep your finger off that warning button? And that's hard. It is tough working in that hot seat. So we'll see what they do with this. But again, this circulation is about to move out of Greene County and will affect the southern part of Tuscaloosa County. And everybody needs to watch this. Again, everybody needs to be weather aware tonight until the line of storms passes. But again, the good news we can tell you, once this line passes, that's it. It is a one and done kind of night. We got a tornado warning for parts of Marengo County. Want to look at that, Taylor, real quick? This is going to be down to the south of here. This is going to be for southern Marengo County, for this thing right here. That's near the old James River, and it's on the Tom Bigby, and that circulation is going to be coming out here towards Sweetwater, Half Acre, Nanophilia. Linden is right here. So again, a tornado warning for the southern part of Marengo County. If you're down in this does not include Demopolis. Demopolis, you've got a warning to the north, a warning to the south. You're not under any type of warning at this point, but again, possibly a tornado in the far, far southwestern part of Marengo County. And again, Half Acre, Nanophilia, Sweetwater, Dixon's Mills, Linden, Thomaston, Dayton. Any of these places in Marengo County, just be aware that you're under a warning. You need to be sheltered until the line of storms passes. And again, even if there's no tornado, the winds could be very strong in that line segment. So that's South Marengo County. Let's go back up to Perry County. And again, this is a pretty good looking signature right here. That might be one of the best ones of the night. Yeah, we got a tornado down. See it right here? That's a tornado down just south of downtown Marion, a little to the east of Alabama Highway 5. This is Alabama Highway 14 right here. And nobody should be along Highway 14 from Sprott down to US 80. Nobody. That's a tornado that is down in Perry County, just south of Marion. Tornado debris signature, a TDS. And again, this is, if you know anybody in this part of Perry County, call them, text them, wake them up. You got a problem here. Let them know they've got to be in a safe place. They can't be driving. If they live in a manufactured home, they have to be in a shelter. And again, this tornado is going to be moving northeast. And remember, Bibb County sits right here. And we'll see the quality of air is not that good up here. There's no instability, and we're hoping that that will mitigate this thing to, continuing. But if it keeps on keeping on, it might wind up affecting parts of Bibb County. So we have a tornado down in Perry County moving towards the north-northeast, and that'll be crossing Highway 14 near the town of Sprott pretty soon. So that's our warning for Perry County. Let's go back up to the northern Tuscaloosa County. So we're going to bounce back and forth between storms. Again, there's the approximate arrival times on your screen. We'll be bouncing back and forth between these. We now have a tornado warning for parts of Fayette and Walker counties. A new tornado warning for parts of Fayette and Walker counties. This includes Boley Springs. This includes Berry. If you are in Berry, Boley Springs, Pea Ridge, got to be sheltered. This would include Carbon Hill. This would include Eldridge. Jasper is right here. You can see the polygon is just west of Jasper. So this is for the circulation that is coming out of northern Tuscaloosa County. And again, it's not really a classic circulation here, but based on the wind dynamics of this system, the right thing to do is to maintain that tornado warning. So again, Berry, be sheltered. Boley Springs, be sheltered. The town of Corona on Highway 18 right here, Alabama 18 in Walker County, need to be sheltered. Oakman is kind of just outside the polygon. Downtown Oakman sits right here. This is Interstate 22. Nobody should be driving along Interstate 22 between Jasper and the Marion County line. Again, you've got Carbon Hill, you've got Eldridge in here, you've got the town of Kansas, and those are the approximate arrival times of this circulation on the screen here. So a tornado warning now for parts of eastern Fayette and western Walker counties. This does not include Cordova or Parrish or Dora or Summerton. This is for areas west of Jasper. It does include Thatch, and again, Carbon Hill, Eldridge, Interstate 22, nobody driving on Interstate 22 or the old Highway 78, Alabama Highway 118 out here. So eastern Fayette County, western Walker County, be sheltered right now. It's a pretty decent looking circulation on radar. The tornado warning in effect for these two counties will be in effect until 10:30. So we're going to be here until at least 10:30 with this. And again, this is a severe storm capable of producing a tornado near Berry in Fayette County. Moving towards the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. These things are racing. All right, so again, that's our call to action. Western Walker County, eastern Fayette County, you want to be sheltered. Possible tornado near Berry, moving like that. And that's the storm that's come out of Tuscaloosa County. That warning for Tuscaloosa County will be going out in 3 minutes here. Let's go back down to Greene County. And again, we're going to bounce back and forth between these various storms here. And again, there's just not much showing up in Greene County. We've got broad circulation now into southwest Tuscaloosa County down around Ralph, but it's very broad. So, but still, with the line of storms, there could be damaging straight line wind, but there's not really strong evidence of a tornado down here at Ralph. So let's go down to Perry County. This thing had a really nasty looking TDS a few minutes ago, a debris signature here. And again, you can see the concern right down here. We'll put the TDS back on the screen, and there it is. That is a tornado that is down, about to cross Highway 14 to the community of Sprott, or just south of there. And again, everybody needs to be sheltered. That is again, we've seen some of these signatures here tonight, and you certainly want to stay sheltered. That is an urgent thing to do. This is Alabama Highway 183 that goes back over toward US 82, but we have a tornado debris signature, a tornado that is down right here that's about to cross Alabama Highway 14 south of Sprott in Perry County. That is probably the most significant signature we've seen all night tonight. So that's the situation here. Let's go to southern Marengo really quickly. And again, everybody's watching on the YouTube and the Facebag and the Tweeter and everything tonight. People can watch anywhere now. That's the one thing about the digital world. We have a tornado warning for southern Marengo County in effect. This would include Dayton, Thomaston, Sweetwater, Nanophilia, Dixon's Mills, Half Acre. Because of the possibility of a tornado coming across the southern part of Marengo County. So let's expand this back out, and I'll just kind of show you the different areas we're watching in terms of tornado activity. We've got Greene County, and again, that's going to expire in, let's see, a minute and a half, 90 seconds. This one's going to go away. That one's going to go away. This is the one to watch for western Walker and eastern Fayette. Obviously, Perry County. That's a nasty-looking storm right there. That thing is out ahead of the line. It's by itself, and that is a very dangerous storm in Perry County, the one that's passing south of Sprott, and then the one in South Marengo County. But let's go back up into Fayette and Walker counties, and let's mention too. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for the western part of Cullman County. This is for the chance of strong straight-line winds. And again, the Weather Service in Birmingham opting not to issue a warning for Winston, but the Weather Service is going to issue one for Cullman. They're different Weather Service offices with different philosophies, but the bottom line is everybody within the line. It's going to rain heavily. You'll see gusty winds, and again, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the western part of Cullman County. This is for straight-line winds. The tornado warning is in effect for eastern Fayette and western Walker County for the possibility of a spin-up tornado in here. I will say the signature is not especially strong. That signature came over Barry. I've not heard of any damage. Taylor, any damage reports over there? You're looking at a lot of sources.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from that storm in particular at this point. And looking at that signature, it does look like it's kind of broadened out a bit. But I've been checking on stuff, and I have not seen anything coming out of that storm recently. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, we've seen some of these cycles. So of course, that's why the National Weather Service is continuing that tornado warning. So good idea there to keep that going. And regardless of whether or not we've got a circulation or a tornado on the ground, this is telling us that there's some really strong winds within that storm as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But so far, have not seen any reports from that. The storm that we are seeing the reports from is going to be the storm that's in Perry County, where we have that tornado debris signature at this point.
And again, we're coming up on 9:45, so we have now lost a couple of our tornado warnings. They expired at 9:45, and we have a tornado warning in effect now for parts of eastern Fayette and western Walker counties right here. And again, it's a messy, convective night. It's just messy. And that's pretty routine for Alabama. It's not going to be one of these nights where I can show you exact spots. I can in some cases. In fact, that Perry County storm, I'll show you here in a second. But there's evidence of what could be a tornadic circulation coming through eastern Fayette and western Walker County. Jasper not in the polygon. Carbon Hill is, Eldridge is, Corona is in the polygon. Let's look at Oakman. Let's see how close we are. Oakman, I think, is just outside the polygon. Oakman's going to be right here. Parrish is right here. This is Corona. And again, the possible circulation is moving right up here. So again, we don't advise travel on Interstate 22 between Jasper and the Marion County line for about the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I'd say. And you don't want to be driving in this anyway. And remember, the storms could produce pretty strong straight-line winds, in addition to the chance of an isolated tornado. So let's put the velocity display back on here really quickly, and let's see if we can find a spot where there could be a tornado. And again, it's pretty broad. This thing is broadened out. That's not really a tornado signature right now. I can't show you a tornado because it's not there. Could it cycle back up? Yes. On the next volume scan, it might be right back. And as long as you see these flashing red polygons, you respect the polygon and you stay sheltered until the storms move on. So again, Interstate 22 from Jasper to the Marion County line, Alabama Highway 5 from Jasper back up toward Lynn. You want to stay sheltered and not driving on that highway, but that's our storm in Fayette and Walker. The circulation is awfully broad. Let's go back down to Marion County or Perry County. And by the way, that's a circulation you see there in Bibb. But let's look at this one. And again, I want to look at and it looks like maybe this thing is broadened out, which is good. This is coming from Birmingham. We've still got that TDS. Sometimes debris stays aloft even after a tornado dissipates. Takes a while for it to get down. We've clearly got circulation here, northeast of Sprott. But again, at the moment, it doesn't look as intense as it did about 5 or 10 minutes ago. But still, a tornado warning for Perry County. That rotation is moving northeast. And again, that's Alabama Highway 183 right here that runs over to Sprott from US 82. And that's Alabama Highway 219 right here that runs from Brent down to Selma. And that broad circulation is moving northeast, and Perry County remains under a tornado warning. We'll give Marion an all clear. If you're in Marion or point south and west, all of this is northeast of you. Marion is all the way down here. Circulation is here, moving that way. Uniontown, you're good, down in southern Perry County. So that's the Perry County storm. Let's check southern Marengo really quickly. This is going to be a circulation that is coming through southern Marengo, south of Demopolis. And again, right in through here. And this would be affecting the southern part of Marengo County. This is US 43 from Linden down toward Dixon's Mills. Alabama Highway 10 is down there in the southern part of the county. That's Alabama 10 right here, Dixon's Mills. And again, you can see Nanophilia, Half Acre, Linden, Calvary, Octagon. These are communities in South Marengo County, Dayton, Thomaston along Highway 25. Be sheltered as that storm is in Linden's in the polygon. Linden is the county seat of Marengo County. You're in the polygon as well. So a tornado warning for South Marengo County for the possibility of a tornado that's coming out of Choctaw County, across the Tombigbee, moving northeast, north-northeast. So let's say a tornado warning for southern Marengo County. Let's go back up to some of the other ones here. We'll take a look at the Walker and Fayette County storm. And this is the one that's in, right here in our territory, of course, and we're going to focus on this, and we just don't really see a tornadic circulation, and it's gone. I love it when you draw an X. I love it when Taylor draws an X on this map. It warms my heart because that means the warning has been canceled. And I think that's there's just nothing there. So the tornado warning for Walker and Fayette counties is gone. It's off the board. It's been canceled. So if you are in Fayette or Walker counties, you are no longer under a tornado warning. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect now for Tuscaloosa, parts of Hale, and parts of Bibb counties for the line, okay? So here's the line of storms. And again, you can see that line is coming into Tuscaloosa. Let's check that DCH camera, Taylor. What you got over there? I bet you it's starting to rock and roll. All these cameras have been shaking and baking all day with the wind.
Yeah, and right now we've got the rain. I think the line is just not quite to this camera site yet, but it's on its way, and it'll be here in a minute, and then definitely we'll start to see things pick up. But very wet. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's all that many people out on the roads from this camera, which is good. Everybody should be at home or in your safe place because you've got that severe thunderstorm warning. And like we've been telling you all day, it's a good idea just to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings, just because we could have these storms tap into some of those really strong winds right above the surface. But for the time being, this camera still looks fairly quiet, but it's not going to stay that way much longer. I do believe we're going to really start to see things pick up at this camera site here pretty soon as we watch that line move across the area. So I do want to see here. It does look like worth noting the National Weather Service is looking at potentially extending that tornado watch farther eastward. They're going to check over some things. They're going to do some investigating on some of the different thermodynamic stuff going on in the east, and they're going to make a decision on that later. But once again, if you live in our easternmost counties, if you're not in a tornado watch now, don't let your guard down because that could be extended farther eastward later in the evening. We're going to keep an eye on things, and we will be, of course, updating you on that as soon as we get that information in. I do want to clear some people from the severe threat. Let's do that. If you live in Marion County, your severe threat is, okay, we've got a new tornado warning, but if you live in Marion County, your severe threat is over. Same for Lamar County. But let's take a look at where that tornado warning is. So it includes portions of Bibb and Tuscaloosa. There we go. It's popping on the screen there, and you can kind of see this is another one of those storms that formed right out ahead of that line. So we are looking at some rotation with this. Definitely strong winds. There we go. It's just to the north of Eel Line, and it's moving in the general direction of West Blockton. And now, yes, Tuscaloosa County is included in this warning, but check it out. It is really just this small sliver here of Tuscaloosa County. It does not include downtown Tuscaloosa. This warning includes Vance and Lakeview. And so I-20 Lakeview to Vance is included in that. Does not include Coaling, does not include Brookwood. So for those of you in Tuscaloosa County, it's just going to be Vance, Lakeview in this. But this also does include West Blockton and Bibb County, Bibbville. This is going to be crossing over Highway 5 pretty soon as it continues northeastward. And I do have to say, this is rotation. I'm looking for the correlation coefficient, not seeing an indication that this is on the ground. But there we go. There's a little bit better view of that rotation there, headed in the general direction of West Blockton. Now, at this moment, this isn't giving me an indication that we've got a tornado on the ground, but it could be on the ground here soon. We've seen these cycle today, of course, as we typically do. And at the very least, you've got very strong winds on the way. So everybody in, let's say, the northern half of Bibb County should be in your safe place. That tornado warning does not include the city of Brent. Oh, I say that, and it looks like we might be getting a new tornado warning for more of Bibb County. So Brent, you are right on the edge of now another tornado warning. So much of Bibb County included in tornado warnings now. And this is going to be for that storm we were watching down in Perry County. You can see that circulation south of Brent. It's going to be crossing over from Perry County into the southern portions of Bibb County. It is crossing over 25 now. So this is going to be moving like this, headed in the general direction of Antioch, 6 Mile, Ashby, Oakley. You are included in that tornado warning polygon. It is time to take those tornado precautions. So that is going to be our southernmost circulation that is crossing over into Bibb County here pretty soon. I'm highlighting those cities for you. And then we've got this other circulation that is headed in the general direction of West Blockton. So if you are in West Blockton, you need to be taking those tornado precautions here. And that northern warning is going to include some portions of Tuscaloosa County, not downtown Tuscaloosa, not Coaling, but it does include Vance, does include Bibbville, and Lakeview with this northern warning. So we are now working 2 warnings that include portions of Bibb County. So now that I've got all this drawn on here, I am going to take us to that correlation coefficient. And just within the last radar scan here, I do have to say that southern circulation does look like it is ramping up just a bit. But let's check this correlation coefficient, and we now once again have a tornado on the ground in Perry County. So that's the storm that's headed into southern Bibb County. So everybody in southern Bibb County, safe place now. Brent, you're right on the edge of both of these. But at this point, we are looking at what does appear to be another tornado on the ground in northern Perry County, about to cross over into Bibb County. And that was that nasty looking storm that was out ahead of the line. And you can see it there. I mean, that's...
I was going to say, that we've got some. This one right here is probably the most concerning of all of them, Taylor. This is the one that is along Highway 219. We got a debris signature, a TDS on this thing. It's right here. That thing is down. It's been down through much of Perry County. And that is going to be moving up into Bibb County. Again, Brent and Centerville, you're just basically in between these 2 polygons. It's pretty remarkable. Centerville, Brent right here, polygon to the north, polygon to the south. But that is a tornado that's down. I mean, that's nasty looking. I mean, that is really ugly looking. This is a dangerous storm, a life-threatening storm. And that's about to cross over into Bibb County out of Perry County. And again, this is Highway 82 coming south out of Centerville. Centerville here, Brent here. In fact, I was in Centerville today seeing some school kids, and this is US 82. That's the route from Brent down to Prattville, down to Maplesville. And this thing is going to be crossing Highway 82. So again, in terms of traffic, for those that are listening on our radio partners, we don't want anybody driving on US 82 between Brent and the Chilton County line. Okay? We really ask that. And again, this is the tornado is going to be passing a little to the east of Centerville and Brent, crossing Highway 82, then moving up toward Highway 139, which is right here. This is Randolph, this is Ashby, and that goes up toward Wilton and Shelby County. And of course, if this thing happens to stay down, it could could affect Shelby County later, but that's a long way down the line here. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So we have a tornado debris signature now in northern Perry County, a very dangerous storm that's going to cross into Bibb. This is the county line. This is Perry, this is Bibb, and that'll be crossing Highway 82 east of Centerville, east of Brent. Centerville here, Brent here, the Cahaba River right there. These are going to be some of the approximate arrival times of towns in the path of this. And again, those are towns up in Shelby County, Wilton and Montevallo. If we can put maybe some of the smaller towns, there we go. Smaller towns in parts of Bibb County. You've got Ashby at 1017, 6 Mile at 1014. And again, anybody out here in the eastern part of Bibb County, be sheltered now. Now, okay? No mobile homes and no cars. So that's our southernmost tornado warning polygon. Let's look at the northern tornado warning polygon here, Taylor. This is going to be the one that includes northern Bibb County and clips a little bit of Tuscaloosa County.
Looks
again,
like that southern storm's kind of starting to cut that off.
Yeah, there's just nothing here. We see no evidence of a tornado. And again, this is Vance, this is Lakeview, this is Bibb County. This is a very, very small segment of eastern Tuscaloosa County under a tornado warning. And Taylor's showing this broad circulation here, but it's pretty broad. That does not look like a classic tornado signature. West Blockton is right here. That's Highway 5. Woodstock is here. Green Pond is here. That's Interstate 5920. But again, I would still, as long as that polygon's up, that thing's flashing, you stay sheltered. So again, this is a tornado warning for northern Bibb in the far, 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 far eastern part of Tuscaloosa County. This has nothing to do with the city of Tuscaloosa. So let's expand this out. And let me just, and by the way, you're watching ABC 3340 News at 10 o'clock. We are in the midst of severe weather, and tonight the news is weather. So we continue our tornado coverage. And you can see it's just a big, massive rain here with strong gusty winds coming through Jasper and Tuscaloosa. But we're focusing on these storms that have gotten out ahead of that line in northern and southern and eastern Bibb counties. We have two distinct tornado warning polygons here, and the most concerning, it's this one right here. You see the inflow notch right there, and that might be a debris ball right there. So let's go and look at the TDS, the correlation coefficient. That's your debris ball, and there it is. I mean, that's bad. This is a very, very, very dangerous storm that is currently sitting on the Perry-Bibb County line that's basically crossing over into Bibb. And this is Highway 219 running south out of Centerville that goes down to Selma. And so the tornado is just to the east of Highway 219, and it's going to be crossing over US 82 pretty soon. And again, this is serious business. Nobody should be in a car on US 82 between Brent and the Chilton County line, or let's just say between Brent and Maplesville to make it easier. Because what could be a violent tornado is possibly going to cross Highway 82 here in just a matter of minutes, and then it's going to keep on moving northeast up in the northern part of Bibb County, the northeastern part of Bibb County. At 6 Mile on Highway 25, I drove right through 6 Mile today. This is Ashby along Alabama Highway 139 that goes down to Randolph. Randolph is right here. Oakley is right here, Highway 139 here, Alabama Highway 25 right here, US 82 right here. But Antioch, Ashby, Oakley, I wouldn't want to be driving on Highway 139 between Wilton and Randolph because that is a very, very dangerous storm.
We got a new warning for Tuscaloosa.
Okay, so let's take a look. This is a new tornado warning, and the Weather Service is highlighting this circulation right over the city of Tuscaloosa. So we have a new tornado warning in effect for Tuscaloosa County. This includes the city of Tuscaloosa and points north and east. Again, that's not the most classic signature we've seen on radar, but again, this is a tornado warning that is now in effect for the city of Tuscaloosa and areas north and east. If we can look at that DCH camera real quick and maybe spin that thing to the east back over toward Alberta City. We're looking west, and you can see the power is on. Down below, that's University Boulevard, and we're spinning it back. Now we're looking north from DCH, top of DCH Regional Medical Center. And now we're going to be looking back to the east, down University toward Alberta City. And again, the good news, we can report the power's on. That's the first thing I look for, to see if we have any power outages or any evidence of power flashes, and we don't see that in Tuscaloosa. And again, this is a live look at our Skycam atop DCH Regional Medical Center. we have a new tornado warning that's in effect for the city of Tuscaloosa for circulation that's kind of formed over the city itself. And it's moving northeast at 55 away from the city, which is good. So let's go back to the radar. And again, we're not going to be able to see much. That broad circulation is out here near Cottondale, now east of Tuscaloosa. So broad circulation. Again, this is Alberta City right here. And again, it's fairly broad, but there could be a small tornado in here. This is Holt. This is Fleetwood. Peterson is out here. This is Brookwood. And again, this thing is moving to the northeast. The rate of motion here on the warning is at 55 miles per hour. And we'll put some of the approximate arrival times for communities in the northeastern part of Tuscaloosa County on the board. And this is out in the northeast part of Tuscaloosa County, Kellerman at 10:20. And most likely this circulation is going to be passing north of Brookwood, north of Peterson. And again, it's out here in the northeastern part of town. Let's zoom in a little tighter. Again, Holt is located right here. This is the river. The circulation would be on the river out here near Nucor Steel, which is right here. Again, that's moving northeast like that. And again, so far we have heard of I've not heard of any damage or any power flashes. We've seen no evidence of anything happening in Tuscaloosa. This is a radar indicated tornado now northeast of downtown Tuscaloosa. So for downtown Tuscaloosa and points west and all clear from this threat, the concern is now the eastern part of town. Again, this is Alberta City. And again, Rice Mine Road is right here. You've got Jack Warner Parkway, which is right here on the south side of the river. Holt is located right here. And again, that's the Warrior right there. And we've got that broad circulation just northeast of downtown Tuscaloosa. Let's take that DCH camera one more time. We're looking back up to the northeast, and we just can't see a lot. It's pouring rain. And again, on a night like tonight, you just can't see much. So again, it's 10:05. We've got multiple tornado warnings in effect. We've got this one we're talking about now for Tuscaloosa County, the northeastern part of Tuscaloosa County. So Tuscaloosa, Northport here, the danger is over for those two cities, at least the downtown area. The circulation has now crossed the Warrior. It's out here near the North River Yacht Club. And again, it's fairly broad. This is not the most intense circulation we've seen, but I think the Weather Service saw the fact that it was over a population center, and just as a course of least regret, they opted to issue this warning. And again, that's going to move up into the northeast part of Tuscaloosa County. This is the river right here, the Black Warrior. So we've got broad tornadic circulation, possibly. There's broad circulation for sure. Is it a tornado? We don't know that yet. This is radar indicated, but it's on the river. Again, right around the North River Yacht Club. It's a little north of Holt, coming out across Lake Tuscaloosa. Everybody should stay sheltered out here for about, if you're in the yacht club, the North River development, you need to stay sheltered for about 10 more minutes. It's 10:06. You need to be sheltered until about 10:15, and we'll give you an all clear when that happens. And again, that's going to be moving up into the territory owned a lot by the coal companies here, but we know there are people that live here in northeast Tuscaloosa County. This will be passing north of Brookwood. This is Brookwood here, Fleetwood, Peterson here. That's Alabama Highway 216. And again, that circulation is now northeast of Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa, you're in good shape. Downtown Northport, you're fine. That circulation is moving to the northeast at about 55. And again, it's pretty close to North River and Lake Tuscaloosa. And everybody out here should be sheltered for about the next 10 minutes until this moves northeast. So really quickly, let's go back down to Bibb County. And I want to focus on the southern Bibb County storm. This is the most dangerous of the day right here. That thing's on US 82. There's evidence there could be a very significant tornado down. That's a very, very, very significant debris signature. This is a dangerous storm. This is dangerous. And again, if you know anybody out here in the eastern side of Bibb County, the community of Antioch, which is right here, 6 Mile, this is Alabama Highway 25 coming out of Centerville. That's Alabama Highway 139 coming south out of Wilton, out of Shelby County, Briarfield down toward Randolph. Briarfield, Ashby, Oakley, Antioch, be sheltered now. You've got to be in a small room, lowest floor, near the center, no windows, a helmet on, a bicycle helmet, a batting helmet, a motorcycle helmet, and you can't be in a manufactured home, you can't be in a car. You've got to be out of there. You've got to be sheltered. Most all of these places have shelters open. Most every county opened their shelters earlier today. But again, this is a very, very significant debris signature. Debris is being lofted to at least 10,000 feet in this. And again, the Weather Service is calling this obviously very dangerous, and we certainly agree with that. So again, we have a dangerous storm, debris being lofted to at least 13,000 feet. 13,000 feet from the ground up, tree limbs, parts of buildings, and that tornado is crossed over US 82, which is right here. And again, Centerville, Brent, this is east of you, thank goodness. It is not affecting Centerville or Brent. It is east of there, crossing Highway 82, and it shortly will give folks an all clear on US 82, but we can't do that right now. The tornado has just crossed over Highway 82. And again, that's going to be coming up toward the communities we've highlighted here. You can see on the screen, Alabama Highway 25 is up here. That runs from Montevallo down to Centerville. Highway 139 from Wilton down to Maplesville, down toward Randolph. Randolph is really not in the polygon. You can see the polygon edge right here. The concern, it's north of there. Briarfield and Ashby, you are. And again, there's the new volume scan, and that just looks nasty. That's rough. So let's go back to our velocity display. And again, you can see the circulation right here. That's our tornado in Bibb County that is now east of US 82. So we can give an all clear to Highway 82. 82, you can travel on it again. Centerville down to Maplesville, you're good. Let's go to Tuscaloosa County. We're going to bounce back and forth. And again, this warning here, this intermediate warning, there's just nothing there. I mean, there's nothing there. We're going to focus on this one. This is the warning that is for the circulation that is east of the city of Tuscaloosa. And again, you can see the circulation is broad, but it's located in this vicinity around, again, it looks like the dominant circulation has kind of shifted south, maybe south of the river again, maybe just a little to the east of the city of Holt. The Holt-Peterson Road, part of that road is a dirt road right here. And again, we've had broad circulation near North River, and the dominant circulation seems to be down to the south here. This Tuscaloosa County warning, the signature has not been as pronounced as others that we have seen. But still, you've got to be sheltered. So again, if you're in northeastern Tuscaloosa County, Searles, Kellerman, coal mining country out here, be sheltered. This is the river. A broad circulation east of Holt on the river. This moving northeast. And again, for those of you around Lake Tuscaloosa, stay sheltered for about 5 minutes. Let's go down to South Marengo County real quick. We've got a confirmed tornado over Linden in this latest update from the Weather Service. And I wanted to show people what's going on down here very quickly. Again, that circulation is just below Providence. We're not seeing it coming out of Birmingham at this point, but still, we've got a tornado warning in effect now for areas east of US 43. This would include Thomaston, back up toward Faunsdale, the areas of East Marengo County. So just be aware of that. So let's go back up to this one. This is nasty. This thing right here. This is in Bibb County. This is potentially a violent tornado that is down. I mean, this is a very, very violent tornado right here. This is a tornado debris signature that's coming through the community of Antioch. And again, this is 6 Mile. Nobody should be on Highway 25. And let me just say, if you're in Montevallo or Wilton, watch this, okay? In Shelby County, we might have to pull the trigger on a warning soon. Montevallo is here, Wilton is here, and just be aware that this is moving in a direction towards some very densely populated parts of Shelby County. But again, the concern would be Briarfield, Wilton, and Montevallo. This is in Shelby County. There's no formal warning yet, but just be aware there might be one if this thing keeps up. But Highway 139, Briarfield, Ashby, Oakley, anybody on 139, you got to be sheltered. Alabama Highway 25, you got to be sheltered. Wilton down to 6 Mile. The risk has ended for US 82. Okay, so US 82 and points south and west, you're good. The tornado circulation is just below 6 Mile. And again, I drove that road today, going down to Cahaba Christian Academy, speaking to the kids down there. And it's beautiful country. It's just beautiful. And this is the last thing you want to see here, but that's a tornado debris signature that means there's a tornado down. This product has been amazingly good since we had dual polarization radar installation about 10 years ago. And this product, or the signature, is moving in this direction. And if it continues in this direction, it might stay a little west of Highway 139, but forget that. If you're in the polygon, respect it and be sheltered. And if it moves into Shelby County, the Weather Service will post a tornado warning for Shelby County here fairly soon. It is now 10:13. I'm James Spann. We're typically in news at this point. We're in weather tonight because of multiple tornado warnings in effect as a line of severe storms is passing through the state. The most dangerous storm on the board right now, pretty much statewide, is this one in northeastern Bibb County. We've got a tornado debris signature that is just below the community of 6 Mile along Alabama Highway 25, Montevallo Road, and that's moving northeast like this. And if it continues on that track, it's going to be cutting out across Highway 25 just below Wilton, moving up into Shelby County. This is Montevallo here. This is Wilton here. The Shelby County Airport is up here. This is the radar site. And we'll just watch and see. Best case scenario, we get some dissipation. All right. So that's the situation here. Let's go to Tuscaloosa County really quickly. Again, you can see we have 3 tornado warning polygons here, and let's put the velocity on here.
Looks like we might be
about
starting
to say
see
now we've
something.
got a debris signature down here. Again, this is North River here. You've got Fleetwood and Brookwood over here, Fleetwood, Peterson over here, and now we're starting to see evidence of debris that might be lofted. This might be a tornado that is down northeast of the city of Tuscaloosa. This possible tornado, again, it's northeast of Holt. Holt is right here. And again, this is pretty much on the river. This is Lake Harris Road right here. Again, North River is over here. If you're in North River, we'll give you an all clear, as this is now east of you. And this possible tornado, and it could be down, is moving northeast. And again, this is Searles, this is Kellerman, and we've got a lowering of the correlation coefficient right here, which means there could be debris that's being lofted. There's a chance this thing is down. Brookwood is here, East Brookwood. You've got Lakeview over here, but the warning is mainly for areas north of Brookwood. And again, you can clearly see the river. This is the Black Warrior River. That tornado debris signature is now just north of the river, sitting on the north bank of the river, on the other side of Peterson and Fleetwood, moving northeast like that. So again, this is a storm out there near the Holt Lock and Dam, if you will. That's about the approximate location of this thing, and that's going to keep on moving northeast. So this is a tornado warning for northeast Tuscaloosa County. And remember, all of this is sliding east here. If you're in Birmingham, stay with us because all of this is moving toward the Birmingham metro. But again, for the city of Tuscaloosa, Northport, the tornado is here. You're good. You are good. That's the tornado moving like that. Jefferson County is up here. Again, Oak Grove is here. We're coming up on April 8th, that anniversary of that horrible tornado in 1998 our friends here experienced. And again, there's your TDS, a tornado debris signature right here sitting on the river, moving northeast. So again, northeast Tuscaloosa County, be sheltered. Let's go back down to Bibb County. That intermediate warning, the one in between here, there's no evidence of a tornado at this point. We're going to focus on this right here. That is your debris signature right here. This is now just below 6 Mile. Again, Highway 25 is right here. My finger's along Alabama Highway 25. And again, the town of Ashby is here. This is Alabama Highway 139 going south down toward Randolph. That's Highway 25 going down toward Centerville. We got a possible tornado between 139 and 25 moving like this. And again, if that continues, it's going to be in Shelby County fairly soon. And I wish I could show you images or video of the storms we have tonight, but I cannot do that because everything is rain-wrapped and it's dark. And I know there's so many things happening. We have fires, we have trees down from gradient winds earlier today, but we have to focus on these life-threatening storms that are happening right now. The minute we can kind of back off a little bit, we can talk about the fires in progress and the other damage that's occurred today. But again, as long as we have these life-threatening storms, we have to focus on that. So again, just be aware that if this tornado continues moving in this direction, this is I-65 and US 31, Pelham, Alabaster, Montevallo, Morris Crossroads on Highway 119. The National Cemetery is located right there. And again, that tornado is moving up in this direction. We'll see if it can maintain itself. As you go farther to the east, the air is more stable, the dew points are lower. But we've talked about this all day today. The dynamics, the wind dynamics of this system are overcoming the lack of instability. And accordingly, we have had some tornadoes with this here in our state this evening and a lot of damage from gradient winds not related to storms today. It's been a very rough day as we expected. So once again, we've got a TDS, a tornado debris signature that is in northeastern Bibb County. Again, if you're in Centerville, Brent, you're over here. You're not in a polygon. The Weather Service has taken out that middle warning. So we're down to 2 warnings in the state, in our part of the state, 2 tornado warnings. One for northeastern Bibb and the extreme northwestern corner of Chilton. We should mention that, but this tornado is clearly going to stay out of Chilton coming up towards Shelby. And we have this other one up here. This is in northeastern Tuscaloosa County. So a tornado here and a tornado right here. That's your locations. We have one tornado that's about 35 miles west of downtown Birmingham. We have one that's about 40 miles southwest of downtown Birmingham. Just to give you a point of reference, downtown Birmingham is right here. So let's go back to our Tuscaloosa County storm. And the TDS is still there. The lowered correlation coefficient product is here. And again, North River, you're all clear. Points to the west, you're all clear. The concern is now shifting into northeastern Tuscaloosa County, away from the river. And I say away from the river, close to the river. The river is located right here. This thing is still kind of hugging the river, but it's going to be getting off the river, passing south of there. Kellerman and Searles in northeast Tuscaloosa County. And if that thing holds together, a warning could be required for parts of Jefferson County. That's the county in which Birmingham is located. And again, this is Oak Grove right here. This is Rock Creek right here. And again, our friends here know tornadoes well. They've dealt with it. They dealt with an EF5 back in 1998. And I'm not saying this is an EF5. It's not. But it's still very significant. We've got debris being lofted here. So that's the current situation. And let's go, Taylor. In fact, I'll let you take it for just a second here, and we'll take a look at our second storm that's coming out of Bibb. And it looks like just maybe, let's check the velocity real quick. That's your tornado signature here, and there it is. It's looking pretty broad, and the best case scenario here is that we get some weakening, which that would be awfully nice if that's the case, as it comes up into Shelby. But again, you've got to stay sheltered. So again, the tornado warning is for northeastern Bibb, and that's in effect until 10:45. But this tornado is going to be out of the county well before that. And again, this is not a tornado here. This is noise. That's the tornado right there. So that's tornado number 1. And I'll let you take it for a second, Taylor, and let me check a couple of reports real quick here.
Okay, sounds good. So at this point, we have 2 tornado warnings in our area. Both have 2 TDSs with them. So that means that we potentially still have tornadoes on the ground. With this latest scan on this Bibb County storm here, we still have the TDS, but sometimes we have that TDS that continues for a little while after that circulation dissipates, because the debris is still lofted at that point. So the newest scan here, we're still seeing a little bit, but remember a couple scans ago when we were showing this as it was moving into Bibb County from Perry County, when we had the big blue area. We're not seeing that, which is good. We don't want to see that. We do have what appears to be some rotation still left with this storm. It's very close to Briarfield. It's going to be passing close to State Route 139 here pretty soon. And I assume at this point, the National Weather Service is watching this storm very closely, because it is getting to the edge of the box, and they're going to have to make a decision on whether or not to extend this into Shelby County or not, because it's going to be crossing over into Shelby County here pretty soon. But the radar presence of this has much improved since a couple scans ago when we had what was confirmed to be a very significant tornado on the ground. Let's check that correlation coefficient again. And we're still picking up on a TDS, so it's possible that we do still have a tornado down, but not looking as menacing as it did a few scans ago. So we're waiting on that decision from the National Weather Service. Of course, they're doing all kinds of analysis on this, and they're watching this very carefully. And notice this box has been trimmed back a lot. So if you live in 6 Mile, you have an all clear from this tornado warning. That tornado is well to your northeast. Oakley, you have an all clear as well. Ashby, I'd still stay in your safe place for a few more minutes, but we can give you an all clear here pretty soon as this storm keeps moving towards the northeast. And we'll be keeping an eye on this. It will be moving in the general direction of Wilton, Montevallo here pretty soon, and we'll see whether or not we get the extension of that warning. And it's going to be heading pretty close to the radar site as well if it does continue. And looking at the radar here, And here we go. We are getting now that new tornado warning that is going to extend into Shelby County for this storm. And it's going to be moving to the northeast. And here we go. With this news radar scan, we are seeing it get very close to Wilton. So if you live in Wilton, you need to be in that safe place. And we're going to read off some of
Let me kind of go through this, Taylor, because now this is when a lot of things are triggered. This is a very, very densely populated part of Birmingham. So a lot of people are getting warned right now via their phone or their weather radio. And let's kind of describe who's in this polygon. This is a tornado warning for Shelby County for a tornado that is moving out of Bibb County into Shelby County. Some of the communities involved in this thing would be Wilton and Montevallo, the northern part of Calera, the southern part of Alabaster, areas around the Shelby County Airport. And again, you've got Columbiana, which is here. You're not in this polygon. This is a fairly small polygon. Shelby County has a very large population base. And understand, it's going to include the southern part of Alabaster, the northern part of Calera, areas around the Shelby County Airport. That's Highway 119 coming south out of Alabaster. You got Thompson High School here, Morris Crossroads, the National Cemetery is down here, right here. And again, that possible tornado is going to be coming right up toward Wilton and Montevallo, and then ultimately toward the Shelby County Airport. This might be a case where the Weather Service in Birmingham has to hand off responsibility to the Weather Service in Huntsville or Atlanta, because they are at the Shelby County Airport. And when that happens, that occasionally does happen from time to time. So again, let's put the velocity display on here real quick. And let's zoom in, and I'll show you that circulation is almost right at Wilton, along Alabama Highway 25, right here, okay? And that's going to be moving to the northeast. The town of Montevallo is here. The campus of the University of Montevallo is here. And that's going to come right through the middle of town. The circulation does not look as violent as it did about 15 minutes ago, but it's still a very dangerous storm, and everybody in Montevallo and on the campus, you need to be sheltered, as that tornado is going to be coming right through the city, or the part of the storm that is capable of producing a tornado is coming right through the city. And from there, it'll be moving right up toward Highway 119. This is Highway 119 here. And again, this is County Road 12. This is Highway 119 right here. This is Morris Crossroads here. Everybody close to Montevallo, back up toward Maylene, you got to be sheltered. Wilton, same thing. Let's look at our correlation coefficient product, the debris tracker, if you will, and let's see if we still have that signature, and it's right here. Now, as we get close to the radar, you're going to see a lot of noise here that doesn't represent debris. But again, right in through here, we have the possibility of a tornado that is down. This has been a tornado that produced a violent signature here about 15, 20 minutes ago. And now it's right here. The new volume scan is in. That's your tornado that's located maybe just north of Highway 25 near the town of Wilton. And again, Montevallo is right here. So everybody in Montevallo, you've got to be in a safe place. The University of Montevallo, there is a new shelter in Montevallo that was opened up. I was there for the dedication. We took a lot of pictures. It's a beautiful shelter, and that's one option for you, but you cannot be in a car or a manufactured home in a situation like this. You've got to be sheltered, and there's a lot of good community shelters here in Montevallo. If you don't find the community shelter, just go into a fast food restaurant, some place that's open, a gas station that's a site-built structure that offers protection. So again, this is a tornado that is currently potentially still down, that is located near the town of Wilton in Shelby County, moving right up toward the town of Montevallo. So this is our Shelby County storm, and understand we're working two distinct tornado circulations here. We're going to have to bounce back and forth between these, but the call to action is for everybody in Montevallo and on the campus of the University of Montevallo, be sheltered now. Let's quickly, Taylor, go to Tuscaloosa County. And,
that has been canceled.
Good. So we're down to one. That's great. So the tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County has been canceled. So all we have right now is a tornado warning for Bibb County in our part of the state, which it makes it easy on us. And again, you're looking at a TDS, a tornado debris signature that is located in Shelby County, just southwest of Montevallo, in the town of Wilton. And again, this is Alabama Highway 25 right here. And again, oddly enough, I was on that road today, going down to Centerville, and the possible tornado is going to come awfully close to the middle of Montevallo and the campus of the University of Montevallo. And if you know anybody here, you can be a hero. You can be part of the, there's the debris signature. It's pretty much in Montevallo right now. That's not good. We have a debris signature that is right on top of Montevallo right now. So again, if you guys could pull that banner down so we can see that, thank you. Again, that's the tornado almost right on top of the campus. Now, if you know anybody in this polygon, call them or text them to let them know what's going on here. But again, this is basically on campus. This is Highway 119 that's right here going north out of Montevallo. Montevallo High School is about right here. The elementary school is right here. The campus of the University of Montevallo is right here. And that's your tornado. And that's not what you want to see. This is Neighbor Street right here. And that's going to keep on moving northeast. It's going to be paralleling Alabama Highway 119. So let's expand this out a little bit and talk about who's next in line here. So again, this is the Shelby County Airport. This is the next rad site right here. You've got Morris Crossroads, Highway 119 goes up toward Thompson High School in Alabaster. This is Maline right here. And again, that's Maline, Alabaster, Morris Crossroads. This is Saginaw right here. So everybody below Alabaster, and again, the tornado warning polygon includes the southern part of Alabaster, the northern part of Calera. And we'll see. Taylor's the Weather Service.
Haven't heard that they're sheltering yet. I assume, you know, if we continue on this path, that's going to likely happen.
So again, they're at the Shelby County Airport, and again, we're down to one tornado warning in our part of the state, and it's this one. So I want to expand this out and show some other parts of Shelby County to give people a point of reference.
James, I did just hear some potentially good news is that I do believe Montevallo's on their spring break.
That's great. Okay. So let's expand this out a little bit. Let me show, again, this is the tornado here. Alabaster, Pelham. This is 280. This is Chelsea. Okay. Possible tornado right here. It's come through Montevallo. And again, it's going to be moving about like that. And if it stays on that track, the warning could be extended farther north and east. But we don't want anybody driving on Interstate 65 or US 31 south of Alabaster, north of Calera. Again, no travel on I-65 or US 31 south of Alabaster, north of Calera, as we have a tornado that continues to be confirmed with a debris signature right here just northeast of Montevallo, moving pretty rapidly. This thing might be moving at 60 miles an hour. I know they've got it moving at 45, but it's moving pretty quick. It's basically over near American Village right now. And again, that's Highway 119. American Village is pretty much right here. I mean, it's literally right on top of American Village and the National Cemetery. And it's going to keep on moving like that. Again, that's I-65, US 31 right here. The radar sits right here. You've seen that big volleyball-looking device on the tower. That's the radome with the radar. And again, that's the spot. And as it gets a little closer, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge to see as we get right into the radar sometimes. But again, this is your possible tornado that's right here. And again, highway, it's just really close to American Village.
Montevallo PD has report tornado on the ground, 139 in Briarfield. So we're getting more confirmation that this tornado is on the ground, or at least has been.
Right. This is from Shelby County SO. Again, this is from Brian Falls and John Talbot with our Skywatcher group. Montevallo Police has a report of a tornado on the ground a little southwest of Montevallo. We do not know what's happened in Montevallo at this point. And again, we're watching developments very carefully, and we want, in a situation like this, you get so many rumors and bad information. We're going to try and focus on getting reliable, factual information to you. If you have friends or relatives in Montevallo, we don't exactly know what's happened at this point. As soon as we find out, we'll pass that on. But again, the tornado is going to be crossing Highway 119 near Morris Crossroads. That's Shelby County 22, Alabama Highway 119. On this current track, this will likely cross Interstate 65 really close to the Shelby County Airport and the location of the National Weather Service. And then it's going to continue moving across US Highway 31 south of Alabaster, south of Saginaw. And from there, it's going to keep on moving to the northeast. And again, Columbiana is not in the polygon. I want to stress that. Columbiana is over here. This is Shelby Springs, downtown Calera, not in the polygon. This is the northern extent of the polygon. And again, that's up here at the top of the screen. That was Shelby County 11 that runs from Alabaster back over to Chelsea. But again, you can see the approximate. This is Shelby County 26. Everybody knows that road. That's how you go from Alabaster down to Columbiana, down to the county seat down there. And this will likely cross Interstate 65, US 31, and County Road 26. That's the road between Alabaster and Columbiana here in the next 15 minutes if it stays down. And that's a big if. Again, the air is a bit more stable. And we're hoping with time that this will weaken, but we don't see a lot of evidence of that at this point. But I will say it's beginning to look a little more disorganized. Taylor, don't you agree?
Yeah, it's getting harder to pick out exactly where that center of circulation is. I think it's broadening out a bit. So hopefully we're seeing this kind of weaken a bit. I do want to see if maybe I can pick things out. And we're also just getting very close to the radar site, which makes things hard. Makes it hard to pick things out. So we'll keep watching it, but certainly it's harder to pick out that debris signature and that velocity couplet compared to what it did look like a little while ago, for sure.
Yeah, again, I'm looking at a lot of reports, and we have to process this on the fly and determine what is credible and what might not be factual. And again, I'm not comfortable in reporting anything about what happened in Montevallo at this point. But as Taylor says, we are right at the radar site here. And just for the fun of it, Taylor, let's look at MXX real quick. I just want to change the radar perspective and look at it from a radar that's, I figured it'd be noise. It's a little too high, so we just can't see much from MXX. So we're going to stay with the BMX radar. This is the Shelby County Airport. And again, as this comes through here, even if the tornado has lifted, you have to assume that it might recycle and get back down. And as long as that polygon is there, we're going to respect the polygon and stay sheltered. And again, for a lot of folks, it's not convenient. It's a school night. It's 10:35. It's late. I understand. I've been down his path. We raised two boys, and I understand the challenges on a school night like this, but you have to make life decisions that protect you and your family, and a decision is to be sheltered during a tornado warning. That's the right thing to do. And this has produced some violent signatures here, and it's passed when it came through Perry County, when it came through Bibb County. I have great concern. There's been a lot of really serious tornado damage in parts of rural Perry and Bibb counties this evening, and we'll find out more about that at the first light of day tomorrow. But what's left of that is coming through Shelby County, and again, the far northern part of Calera and the southern part of Alabaster. That's your polygon right here, and that stretches over into the central part of Shelby County. And notice how the polygon, it continues to shrink, and that's the way it's designed to work. As the tornado continues to be identified, you can make the polygon smaller. You don't want people taking action that don't need to take action. And remember, for some of the old legacy systems, they sound county-wide. You don't need to do that county-wide. This is the only area of concern, is that small polygon in the middle of Shelby County. And again, for Montevallo, the danger is over now. The storm is well north and east of there, that broad circulation. And again, still, we advise no travel on I-65 from Alabaster to Calera. No travel on US 31 from Alabaster to Calera. Those are the two major north-south highways in Shelby County. And again, we don't want anybody in a car in a storm like this. And remember, we've had so much focus on tornadoes here lately. There's a long line of storms that could easily produce strong straight-line winds. This storm is ahead of that line. And that's one of the reasons that it really got spinning. The storms had a very hard time becoming organized east of the line because of the lack of instability, but this one tapped into a little pinched off tongue of instability and got that tornado down. And we're hoping that maybe it's getting out of that zone and the tornado is lifting. But again, until we have absolute confirmation, we want to hang on to the tornado warning. So tornado warning for central Shelby County, this polygon right here, in effect until 10:45. That is for 8 more minutes. We have a severe storm capable of producing a tornado over the Shelby County Airport. And let me just say, too, I want to thank Stephen Quinn. He just spoke with Montevallo Fire Rescue. They have received no reports of damage so far. How about that? That's incredibly good news. So again, thanks to Stephen Quinn, he spoke with Montevallo Fire Rescue, and they have not received any damage reports so far. I've been texting with Spruce McCree, my friend who runs the fire department down at Briarfield, and he is asking if they're clear, and they are. If you're in Briarfield or any part of Bibb County, you're clear. But again, the great news we can report is the fact that we don't have any damage reported so far, and that's the key, so far. Sometimes it takes a while for damage reports to come in to law enforcement and to first responders because of communication problems, and that's common after a tornado. But I do have great concern. There's been some major tornado damage in parts of rural Bibb and Perry counties with this storm. That debris signature was horrific. Debris was being lofted 15,000 feet in the air at one point. We don't have that anymore, which is good. We have just a broad storm here. In fact, let's put the reflectivity on real quick, Taylor, just to see what that looks like. And it's just morphed into a big rain mass here, which is great. So I would imagine the Weather Service will not be extending this warning past that, was it 10:45, Taylor?
Yes.
Right. All right, this is one of the cams we have, the ALDOT cameras at Saginaw. This is Interstate 65, which would be just below Alabaster. And you see it's pouring rain here. And obviously it's hard to see much, but again, evidence that there is order there. We see some headlights down below. Would not want to be driving. Just got a note from Spruce. He's going to go out and see if they need any rescues from his perspective. Again, Spruce McCree works with the fire department down at Briarfield and Ashby and that part of northern Bibb County where we had that really nasty debris signature here. And as soon as he hears something, again, when I get reliable information from law enforcement, first responders, we pass that on. Yeah, I'm watching reports coming in on our Slack session here from Brian back over in the newsroom. They've got a number of crews, our crews, that are looking at the damage down here. And again, that is very helpful. So, but I have fear for parts of Bibb and Perry counties. We'll see. But again, I do believe this warning is going to go away at 10:45. And when that's the case, things will calm down and we can kind of go back to watching this line of storms. See reports of some damage near Deer Lake Park. That's down in Tuscaloosa. That's from that storm that was just northeast of Tuscaloosa, the one near the river. Trees down near Deer Lake Park. And again, that's coming from some of the scanner traffic. But again, the good news, I'm looking through so many reports here across different channels, and I just don't see evidence of damage in Shelby County so far. I want to show really quickly, let's go down to, well, I'll tell you, let's hold it here. The other warnings are not in our television market. We're going to hold it right here in Shelby County until this thing expires. Then we'll go down to some of the other storms down to the south. The better quality air mass for tornado formation is down to the south. There's just not a lot of juice here. Cape, instability, buoyancy. And that has really saved us. I will tell you, if we had very high instability values today, this could be a really, really bad day. It's been a bad day. Gradient winds have knocked down trees in every county. We have wildfires burning all over the place tonight. Trees going down on power lines. The power lines arc, sets of fire. The fires spread like crazy because of the wind. We've got those in every county. It's been horrifying watching these fires and the down trees and power lines because of gradient winds today. But again, as the rain comes in, that's going to greatly help. This rain is a good thing to knock out some of these fires in through here. But again, if you're just joining us, we have for 4 more minutes a tornado warning. I'm sorry, for 3 more minutes, a tornado warning in effect for central Shelby County for this polygon here. And we have lost evidence of a tornado in the radar signature. We have lost the debris signature, which means most likely the tornado is lifted and most likely the Weather Service will not be extending this warning, which is what we would like. We have been under tornado warnings for a while. And again, we're going to go down to some of the other spots down in central and south Alabama here in a few minutes. But again, I just wanted to pass a note from Gerald Satterwhite at the Weather Service. Gerald says they're going to keep the warning going until the expiration time. When it gets close to the radar like this, it can be tough to see. And again, most likely it's not there. And again, I think here in, let's see, Taylor, 2 minutes, this will go away. And then I want to go down south because a lot of people are watching on the YouTube and Facebook Live and other on our app and many other places, and they're interested in other parts of the state. We're going to do that in just a second. But for those that don't know, we are a TV operation here. We have to focus on our home market, and that's what we're doing here. So a tornado warning for 2 more minutes. As long as it's in there, we're going to stay with this for Shelby County. And once we give you an all clear, you can go to bed, and everybody can get out of the shelter, and everybody can be happy and live happily ever after here. But again, I just have concern over what's happened down in Bibb and Perry with this. We saw some really, really violent signatures coming up through parts of northern Perry and eastern Bibb counties. And
we are getting word that it will be allowed to expire.
Yeah, they're going to let this thing go.
Yep.
All right, so the tornado warning will be gone here in just a couple of minutes. In fact, we'll just give you an all clear. The Weather Service is going to let this thing go. So Shelby County, all clear from this tornado warning. So let's go down to this storm in Perry, and I wanted to show this one because this is coming up toward Brent. And again, we've got broad circulation in through here. This is Bibb County, this is Perry County, and we're not seeing debris being lofted. It's kind of a fuzzy signature. So again, this is a tornado warning that's in effect for northeastern Perry County, in effect until 11. And again, the Weather Service issued this at a little earlier this hour. And again, Perry County is in the Montgomery TV market. Bibb is in our market. And we always watch the storms carefully that come out of Perry. And this is kind of taking the same track as the one that's in Shelby now. But again, that looks very noisy. That's not really a classic tornado signature. So let's go down to southern Perry. I want to show the one near Uniontown. Yeah, that's bad. So this is US 80 right here, and this is down in Dallas County. This is Alabama Highway 22. Orville sits right here, and this thing is between Alabama 22 and US 80, and that's a pretty significant looking tornado signature based on the velocity. Not seeing debris being lofted yet. It takes a while to get that up, but that's a significant tornado warning. So a tornado warning in effect. This is for parts of Dallas County. This does not include Selma. This is for areas west of Selma. But for those that are watching on the stream, everybody needs to be aware of that, and we want people to be sheltered. Again, Selma, Taylor is circling, which is right here. Of course, the biggest city in Dallas County. Tornado threat is off to the west of there. Possible tornado moving northeast. That'll be crossing Highway 80. This is Alabama Highway 5 right here. The Browns is right here. This is Safford. That's Highway 5. And again, that's a storm that'll be moving up into Perry County. This is Highway 14 coming out of Selma back up toward Marion right here. So I wanted to show you that. This is in the Montgomery television market, but that's a very significant tornado signature. So let's show the big view. Let's do a reset here. We've hit 1045. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sarallo, and we've got to the north, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Cullman County. Let's take a look at Cullman. We have not ignored you, but when you know the deal, we got tornado warnings. We have to focus on those. So we've got that line of storms coming into downtown Cullman, and the Weather Service in Huntsville is going with severe thunderstorm warnings. The Weather Service in Birmingham, they've kind of backed off in that we've not had that many wind damage reports with the line. Yes, we have had piles of wind damage reports with gradient winds today ahead of this line. A lot of reports, but with the line itself, the winds don't seem to be as bad as the gradient winds. Still, you could see winds of maybe 40, 50 miles an hour in here, and that line is coming into downtown Cullman. This is Good Hope, that's Cullman, that's Interstate 65, this is US 31. So be aware that we have Cullman County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's expand this back out again. I want to show the whole picture. And again, notice the Weather Service in Birmingham, they have not issued any warnings for Walker, Jefferson, Tuscaloosa, now for Shelby. The tornado warning is expired. There's no warning for Shelby County. The rain will be heavy in Birmingham, but based on the lack of reports of additional damage with the line, you don't need to be issuing warnings if you don't need them. So again, we have no severe thunderstorm warnings for Jefferson or Tuscaloosa or Bibb, although that line is about to come into Birmingham. It still is going to produce gusty winds. It might produce a little small hail, probably not much. but it's moving at a pretty good clip. And let's give some good news here. Everybody needs some good news. You need some good news, Taylor?
Oh, yeah, always.
So if you're in Fayette, the risk of severe weather is over. You're done. If you're in Vernon, Sulligent, you're done. In fact, all the counties have been cleared. Marion, Fayette, Lamar, Pickens, Greene, Sumter. You're done with it. No more severe weather until maybe Tuesday of next week. The watch continues in effect for these counties. And again, Tuscaloosa, you'll be cleared soon. You're basically done with it in Tuscaloosa County. But again, the heavier rain's coming into Birmingham. And we're going to watch it carefully. We've had these little spin-up tornadoes this evening. And but for now, for our part of the world here, the one warning, it's for Cullman. You're in our market, by the way. People in Cullman get confused because you're served by the Weather Service office in Huntsville. That has nothing to do with television. You're in the Birmingham TV market. We are honored. We love having Cullman in our television market. And thank you for watching. But again, that line of storms coming right through downtown Cullman with gusty winds. In fact, let's punch up that Cullman Skycam real quick, Taylor. I want to take a look at that and just show you what it looks like. The Cullman Skycam is just east of downtown Cullman. And we'll look back into the downtown area. And let's see if we get any, probably not much lightning at this hour of the night, Taylor. There's no real surface-based instability. And I'm sure there's a little bit of thunder in there, and the winds are going to pick up.
Barely any.
Yeah.
I'm putting the lightning counter. We have 23 in our entire DMA, 23 lightning strikes.
All right, very good. So once again, we're watching our live Skycam in Cullman. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And that will be in effect for a while longer until the storms pass. And we're getting into a situation now where we're starting to hear some reports of damage. We'll go back to the radar. We'll put that again. We'll just kind of leave the big picture up. The line of heavy storms coming through Cullman. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect here. Heavier storms coming through Birmingham. But again, there's no warning. And it's a difference in opinion. The Weather Service in Huntsville, they're going with warnings, Birmingham not. And remember, to be severe, a storm has to have 58-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch diameter hail or larger. That's the criteria. And the Weather Service in Birmingham believes these are underneath that criteria. And I think they're probably right. We're watching these areas of rotation down to the south, and we'll see how they behave here. But here's a public report, just again, going back to previous storms. Montevallo Road, several houses hit by a possible tornado. Have not heard if anyone was hurt. That was earlier this evening. And I know in Mobile it's rough. It is really rough down in Mobile. They've got multiple tornado warnings in effect. And again, we have a station. We have two stations actually in the Mobile television market. We have Channel 3 and Channel 15, WEAR and WPMI. Our friend Alan Seals is the chief meteorologist at Channel 15 down there, and he's taking care of our friends in the Mobile television market. So if you're concerned about our friends down there, WPMI, that's our sister station in the Sinclair group. Alan Seals. Alan is great. He's a great meteorologist, and he does a great job during severe weather, so you can watch him. But I know it's a very rough night down there. They are in unstable air. We are so thankful we are not in unstable air. It's pretty stable up here. So again, just a messy mass of rain across North Alabama as we speak. Heavier rain about to come into Birmingham. Not severe at this point. But let's go back down into northeastern Perry County and just want to confirm that there's nothing going on down here, because that circulation is coming up into Bibb, if there's anything left of it, and I don't think there is. No, there's nothing there. Again, there's broad circulation here, but that's not really a tornado circulation. That's pretty close to US 82, very close to the track of that violent signature we saw, that TDS that came through here. But that's not really a tornado signature, and you can see there's just nothing happening down here. And so that polygon for Perry will be, they just exit out. X that thing out. I like it. Taylor is the best X drawer in America. So this tornado warning for Perry County is off the board. And so again, the only close one we have, it's this one down here in Dallas. And again, that is a storm that's in the Montgomery television market. Our friend Josh Johnson and those guys down there, they'll take it. I got kids everywhere. These are like my kids, former interns. It's great to see them being successful. But there is a possible tornado that is currently located near US 80 down in Dallas County. And this is below US 80. I want to say another report. This is coming from Kirk Smith. He just texted me. Kirk is the EMA director in Bibb County. In fact, I saw Kirk today. We had a chance to visit this morning at Cahaba Christian Academy where I spoke, and we talked about tonight being busy for both of us. He reports there is a mobile home turned over with entrapment on Booth Lane in Briarfield. That's the tornado that came out of Bibb up into Shelby. This was in the far northeastern corner of Bibb County. So again, we have a confirmed report. This is coming straight from EMA. Kirk Smith, who is the director of EMA in Bibb County, of a mobile home that is turned over with entrapment. And again, Spruce McCree, he'll be on that as well. Spruce is now working search and rescue for those that need help with his volunteer fire department down in Briarfield. And again, from Spruce and Kirk, and as we hear more from them, we'll pass along the additional information. So again, I don't know if anybody's been injured here. And that's the one thing I can tell you now. I honestly don't know if we had any injuries. And I will tell you that we still have no reports of any tornado damage from Montevallo. And that was scary, Taylor. I mean, goodness gracious. We watched that TDS go right through there. And we've heard no reports of any damage so far. And again, we're watching our Sky Watcher chat session over on Slack, and they are the greatest, our team of volunteer Sky Watchers. And we've got them all over the state, and they have been great to report. And I will say I do have one report from Brent Luker, one of our Sky Watchers. He says family down in Marengo County, they've got structural damage in Nanophilia. If you remember, we talked about Nanophilia, Half Acre, Sweetwater, Dixon's Mills, that southern part of Marengo County. That was earlier tonight. And again, the situation down in Mobile and Baldwin counties is pretty rough tonight. They've got a number. In fact, let's look at a regional look real quick, Taylor, if we can do that. And I just wanted to show what's happening down in Mobile and Baldwin. And again, look at all that. It's pretty rough. It's a very rough night. We got tornado warning polygons now for the city of Mobile, Fairhope, Daphne, the Eastern Shore. And this is where you've got unstable air. And that was the great concern. The dynamics plus the instability, everything was there. The higher STP values were down here today, significant tornado parameter values. Some of the numbers were pretty impressive, and sure enough, that index works pretty well, and it's worked pretty well in this case. So just wanted to show you that we've got big problems down here in Mobile and Baldwin counties with multiple tornado warnings in effect. And again, for those that would like to watch the live coverage here, I'd recommend Alan Seals, WPMI. You can go to their Facebook page or their website, WPMI.com, and they will have the latest on that. So, Taylor, let me kick it back over to you for 1 second. I'm going to gather a few more reports here that are coming in. Okay,
sounds good. I'm going to, first of all, show us that reflectivity again. We have one severe thunderstorm warning in our viewing area, which is for Coleman County, and that's for the line of storms that's moving through right now. I do want to take us to the, first of all, tornado watch. We'll take a look at that. Still waiting on a few more counties to be cleared, but as you can see, our westernmost communities have been cleared. That's going to keep being cleared from west to east as that line keeps moving eastward. And let's take a look at the power outages here. And we've got 12,000 in Birmingham right now, 1,000 in Shelby County, 4,500 in Jasper, 3,000 in Tuscaloosa, 1,500 in Brent. So we've got all kinds of power outages at this point, and that's from, first of all, those gradient winds, and then now we're starting to see that line move through as well, which is going to potentially also add to that that power outage total as we see the possibility of more trees coming down. But at this point, I'm just trying to kind of watch within this line here. The good news is that we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings with this line, but I am keeping an eye on any kind of rotation. We've got that broad rotation in Bibb County. We've got some lightning with that, but so far no warning on that. Nothing that looks too concerning with that at this point, but that's something we're going to be keeping an eye on. But other than that, the worst of the weather does seem to be to our south for the time being, which is some good news. But we'll keep an eye on these little storms. At this point, it kind of looks like the line itself has kind of broken apart. So we're looking at a broken line of thunderstorms, and it doesn't look as strong as it did when it was first moving over from Mississippi, which is good.
Hey, let's take a picture on WEX 05 real quick, Dennis. This is from the campus of the University of Montevallo, and this is the only damage that really we have seen tonight. This is some damage to the roof at Brook Hall, which is a dorm on the campus of the University of Montevallo. You can see it looks like part of the roof was taken off, just a small part, thank goodness. And again, this is the first image that I've seen that suggests there's been any damage on the campus of the University of Montevallo. So, Taylor, just wanted to mention that we've had a little damage, but if that's the only damage we've had, we're doing okay.
Absolutely, especially because, you know, we saw that debris signature, we saw that storm moving through, and that's the best we can hope for, is if we just have a little bit of that a roof gone, you know, as long as everybody's safe. That's what we're looking for here. But we are keeping an eye on this storm in Bibb County, just because there's a little bit of rotation there, and this would be taking pretty much the same track as that last storm. There's no warning here, but a storm that we're going to be watching carefully to see how that progresses. But other than that, we got heavy rain moving into downtown Birmingham. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning. We got that severe thunderstorm warning for Coleman County. And if we look at that, let's look at that Coleman camera. If we can pull that up on our Skycam network. I've got the view from that camera showing quite a bit of wind and rain. If we can take the Skycam network, I can show you that. Or I guess I can pull it up on my end then if I need to. I'll pull it up on my end. So we're looking at the Coleman Skycam there. Wind, rain, we've seen that really pick up. But this is that line, and once this moves through, you're done with the severe threat. So those who are in Coleman County right now, if you're in downtown Coleman, you're seeing on our camera here, you've got that line moving through at this point, but things are going to improve here once this line moves through. So just kind of hang tight, and it'll be out of your area pretty soon. This line's moving pretty quickly to the east. So it is hopefully not going to be too much longer until those winds calm down. And then behind that line, once that line moves through, we are looking at winds calming down. We're done with those pressure gradient winds as well. So that's certainly some good news. We're going to be done with all those winds that were gusting as high as 50 miles per hour out ahead of these storms today. And that's what really caused a lot of the damage that we've seen so far today, is those pressure gradient winds before these storms even arrived. So at this point, we've got very, very heavy rain along I-20 from Hueytown to Greenwood to Hickory Grove in Jefferson County. And that's what we've got. Some heavy rain, some gusty winds, but not a severe warning. These storms are below severe limits at this point. We've got some heavy rain. We've got some gusty winds, lots of lightning near 6 Mile, Ashby, Wilton. But at this point, we don't have any warnings on this storm. So this storm is below severe limits, which is good. So we're looking and waiting to see whether or not the National Weather Service is going to decide to extend that tornado watch farther eastward. So we'll see what happens with that. At this point, it's been trimmed away from the west, which is good. And if you're done with that line, you're done with a severe threat. Tuscaloosa, you're done with a severe threat. Walker County, Winston County, Hale County, you're done with that severe threat. And then locations west of that. So Greene, Pickens, Lamar, Fayette, Marion, you're all done with the severe threat. You can go to bed. You can sleep well because your severe threat's over, and we are going to be quiet into the weekend. I do want to pass along that the Birmingham office has canceled this tornado warning. So we are done with any tornado warnings for the time being in central or north Alabama. We don't have any tornado warnings to talk about right now. We have that one severe thunderstorm warning that does include parts of north Alabama, including in our area, Coleman. And I'll take you back to that Skycam, because this is what we're looking at. It's still Still very windy from this view. You can I see this pole here shaking, and it's hard to see much just because first of all it's dark and second of all it's raining so heavily. But this is what a lot of folks are going to be dealing with as this moves through. Let's see here. We are getting the official cancellation of that tornado watch for some of the counties that I was telling you that you were kind of done with that severe threat. You're going to see a couple of these counties pop off here. And notice, no tornado warning. So it's been a while since we haven't had any tornado warnings in our area, and we are very grateful for that. The weather at this point, the worst of the weather does look to be down in the Mobile area in southwest Alabama, like the areas like Mobile County, like Baldwin County that James was just telling you about. That's where we have that better instability. And so fortunately, for the time being, things have quieted down quite a bit.
All right, so it's 11:03. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sarallo, and again, things are nice and quiet right now. We have a lot of rain, have a lot of lightning, but I'll be honest with you, the fact that we've got this rain, it's great because we've had so many wildfires burning today. And again, we've got Cullman County under a warning, but really and truly, I don't think that's verifying because remember, to be severe, you've got to have winds of 58 miles per hour or 1-inch hail. We have no hail problems tonight, and the winds we've seen, the reports up here have not been that great with this line of storms. Really, the gradient winds earlier today have been more of a problem than the thunderstorm winds for Cullman County tonight. But again, technically, they're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Other than that, there are no warnings for any part of our area, which is great news. So again, let's check the expiration time of the warning for Cullman. Taylor, it goes out at 11:30. And again, the line should be probably out of the county before that. And again, it's a little difference in the way the Birmingham Weather Service office handles this in Huntsville, but that's okay. Again, we'll watch all of this. Let's look at the storms coming into Birmingham, and we just don't see a lot of lightning. The air is not unstable. And I'm telling you, if we had unstable air, this would be a really red letter day, I think. It would have been a horrible day. But by the grace of God, we didn't have unstable air. We've had damage. Understand, a lot of people have we have tornado damage tonight. We have trees down on cars and homes. It's been rough. I don't want to lessen what's happened, but it could have been a lot worse, I think. So again, you can see heavy rain coming into the Birmingham metro, heavy rain falling in the western side over here, places like Bessemer, Fairfield, Inslee, Forestdale, Graysville, Adamsville. And that's going to come right on through Birmingham, Vestavia, Hoover, Pelham, Alabaster, and then coming out into the eastern side. But notice it's just, we call this junk convection. That's what you're looking at right now. It's just junk convection. It's not especially organized. It's outflow dominant. It's entering a more stable air mass, and it's a phase where things are kind of winding down for the evening, which is a good thing. We'll sit with you in Cullman. We are. So let's go back up to Cullman County. There's a warning here. As long as there's a warning, we're going to stay with you in Cullman County. That's what we do here. Let's look at the sky cam from Cullman, if we can do that. And let's just take a look and see what it looks like, because that line of heavier rain is right on top of the camera, which is about right there. So if we can take the sky cam, or if maybe Taylor, there we go. Thank you, Dennis. So let's pan down toward US 278. Let's look at the traffic down there, Taylor, and see what it looks like on the road. Okay, thank you, Taylor. That's Highway 278, just east of downtown Cullman, and things look good. We have lights, power's on. The wind does not look excessive. It's raining heavily. Certainly not as windy as it was earlier today. But again, the Weather Service in Huntsville, they're going to keep that warning up for a little while longer. And again, as long as we have a warning in effect for Cullman County, we'll stay with this. And when we're done with it, we will go and do a special late newscast with our crews in the field to report on some of the damage. I do know we've had tornado damage in Pickens County tonight. We've had tornado damage inevitably in parts of Perry and Bibb counties. I know we've had tornado damage in parts of Bibb County tonight, and we're waiting really on official confirmation before we report a lot of things, but I will tell you that they are working at this point on rescues in parts of northern Bibb County, and Been talking with Kirk Smith, the EMA director in Bibb County, and Spruce McCree. He's the chief of the fire department down in Briarfield, and it's pretty busy. I know for sure that we've had at least one mobile home overturned with entrapment. That was on Booth Lane in Briarfield. That was earlier tonight, and there's tornado damage. There's no doubt there's been tornado damage in Perry and Bibb counties with that violent signature we saw on the radar earlier tonight. But we just don't know much beyond that. It is so hard to get back information after these things happen in terms of the extent of the damage. Was anybody hurt? How many people were hurt? We just don't know that right now. But again, we have journalists, and that's what they do. We do weather, and they do news, and they're going to find out for you and report back here in just a little bit. The reason we're hanging with you in weather is because we still have, for a little bit longer, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for basically the eastern part of Cullman County. The western part of Cullman County, you're out of the warning, and you're done with severe weather. If you're out here in Battlefield and West Point, Jones Chapel, your risk of severe weather is ended. It's still raining there, but it's pretty much over, and then everybody to the west are in good shape. Let's pop the tornado watch on here, and let me show you the counties that are out of the watch. And again, thankfully, this is a one-and-done event. So the severe weather risk is over for Winston, Marion, Walker, Fayette, Lamar, Tuscaloosa, Pickens, Greene, Hale, Sumter, Marengo, and Choctaw. And by the way, there's been tornado damage in Choctaw County. I posted some of the video. In fact, I'll show you that here in a second. But again, all these counties, you're done. No rain after this rain moves out tonight through the first part of next week. We still have a tornado watch for a little while longer for some of the counties in north, central, and south Alabama. If you're over here in Anniston, Gadsden, these storms are weakening. And your big problem was the gradient winds we had today, those howling winds during the day in advance of the line of storms. With the actual batch of rain coming in, it's actually a good thing because it's going to put out these fires that are burning across the state because of the high winds today and the fact that so many power lines were arcing after trees came down on them. So you have to look at it in a positive way here is what we're trying to do. So again, if you're in East Alabama, the odds of severe weather are not looking especially high at this point. It's just going to rain. The winds will continue, and once the storms pass, the winds will die down. But there are no tornado warnings in effect for our end of the state. All of the severe weather in terms of tornado activity is now down around Mobile. But again, the reason we're here, it's that one little sliver here in Cullman County. So let's go back to the radar. And again, the minute we get this warning out of here, we're going to start a late newscast that will involve reporters in the field, and we'll get additional information on some of the things that have happened here. And I'll give me a chance to check on some of the sources that I have. In fact, I'm just asking one if there's been any injuries in his part of Bibb County. Spruce says that rescues are complete, and they've gone through the entire community down there, and he works that 139 corridor, which is Briarfield down to Ashby, almost down toward Randolph, and we'll see what he says here. But again, we've got technically a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the eastern part of Cullman County. Again, it's Joppa and Baileyton, Holly Pond, Hanceville, these communities out here in the eastern part of Cullman County for this heavy rain that's moving in. And really, there's not a single lightning strike here. It's always kind of hard to issue a severe thunderstorm warning with no lightning and no thunder. But again, Huntsville's doing this just as a precaution, thinking there might be some gusty winds in here. And there's no doubt. It has been a windy day, probably the windiest day of the year, with in every single county that we serve, we have trees down, we have power lines down. Let's look at the power outage map real quick. Taylor, again, this is kind of a new product that gives you an approximate idea of how many people have no power. And you can see that in Jefferson County, this is suggesting 12,000 people have no power. And again, this is not officially from Alabama Power Company. It's from different sources, but typically it's pretty reliable. In Walker County, 4,000, Tuscaloosa County, 3,000, 2,500 in Blount, 1,000 in St. Clair, and 1,000 in Shelby County. So again, this is what we've been dealing with, but we're just thankful that the storms are weakening. So let's go back to the big picture, the radar and what it looks like across the entire area here. And we have the heaviest rain falling from near Huntsville down to Birmingham. Huntsville, Cullman, Birmingham, western Shelby County, parts of Bibb, Perry, and Dallas counties. 3 lightning strikes area-wide, and that's it in the last 10 minutes or so, and that's great news. The storms continue to weaken. Rain is pushing into East Alabama. Dew points have been in the 40s over here. It's a stable air mass. So we think the severe weather threat is slowly winding down at this point. The big problems are down in the southern part of the state. And again, I know there's been tornado damage in parts of Marengo County and parts of Choctaw County. It's been a pretty rough night down through there. In fact, tell you what, bunch up WEXO 5 real quick, Dennis. I'll show you some of the damage down in Choctaw County. This is what it looks like down here. And again, it's awfully hard to see at night. You see an ambulance there on the scene. And there's been considerable tornado damage in parts of Choctaw County around Gilberttown. And this is from a Facebook follower that sent this in. A lot of folks follow me from that part of the state, and I'm honored that they do. And this is the same tornado that went into parts of Marengo County and caused damage around Nanophilia and Sweetwater and Half-Acre, Dixon's Mills, that part of Marengo County. And it's always a situation where you basically need the first light of day, the next day, to see how bad the damage is, because you're working out there with a flashlight, and it's just so hard to see what's going on. But we have similar scenes like that in parts of Choctaw, Marengo, Perry, Bibb counties tonight where there's been tornado damage. And of course, almost everybody watching us, you've had wind damage today because of gradient winds with downed trees and power lines and so many power outages. So let's come back to me on the radar. It is 11:13, and again, we're going to hold this a little longer, and then we're going to go into a special late newscast tonight. And the good news I can tell you from Briarfield in northern Bibb County, there was one injury that was taken to a hospital, another minor injury, but no fatalities. So again, in the Briarfield area, we've had 2 injuries, no fatalities with that tornado that came up through the southern and eastern part of Bibb County. And so that's great. But again, my concern is for areas south of there where that signature looks so bad. If you watched us earlier tonight, you saw that deep, deep, deep blue on the debris signature, which is always a bad sign. But again, so let's go back up here one more time, and there's one lightning strike. There's no severe weather in progress really anywhere. And I know technically there is a warning for Cullman County until 11:30. It's 11:14, and we got heavy rain falling here. There's no thunder. There's no lightning at all. We've had no report. You've had no reports of any wind issues in Cullman, have you?
Nope.
So these storms are not severe at this point. So what we're going to do in about 5 minutes, we're going to transition from weather to news, and we will start our newscast that would typically be at 10 o'clock at 11:20 or so tonight. So thanks for staying up late with us. And again, if you're in Cullman County, just understand we have heavy rain, some gusty winds, but there is this stuff's not even close to being severe based on the standard definition, 58-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch diameter hail. And again, the warning is for the eastern part of Cullman County, and this is no tornado warning. Remember, we don't provide wall-to-wall coverage typically for severe thunderstorm warnings. In an event like this, we've done some of that tonight because of the tremendous wind kinetic energy with this system. But as things are winding down tonight, the severe weather threat is pretty much fading fast, and the odds of any severe weather problems here are looking pretty low in Cullman County. But again, technically, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 11:30. And let's expand the radar out. And if you're in Anniston, Gadsden, East Alabama, again, we're not ignoring you, anything like that. But if there's no severe weather, there's no severe weather. And there's no severe weather in the state right now on our end of the state. Now, down in South Alabama, that's a different story. And earlier tonight, it was a different story. And during the day today, we had the gradient winds that were so high and so dangerous, but it's just basically a large mass of rain. Heavy rain falling in Birmingham, heavy rain falling in parts of Shelby County, and the winds are a bit gusty, but again, there's no evidence of any severe weather in progress. And again, I would consider the rain a blessing. It is a good thing because of the number of wildfires. Colleen Van Zant with the Alabama Forestry Commission sent me a note today. She said, I got 40 wildfires going on here, 40. And they don't have the manpower to deal with that. They really don't. I mean, they do. They get, fire departments to come in and assist them. But they had one fire up in Cullman County where the flames were going 30 feet in the air. And so this rain is just tremendous. It is putting out those wildfires. I've seen some fire departments posting, thank goodness it's raining, because it's putting out these fires. So that is helping to put out the fires, and the severe weather threat is fading. And again, it's just awfully quiet right now. So again, we'll hold it. Any reports of damage from you, Taylor? Anything I'm missing here?
No, we do have a new tornado warning south of our area for Dallas and Lowndes counties.
Okay. And again, we'll look at that real quick. This is going to be in the Montgomery television market. And the way it works in television, every county is assigned to a TV market based on the viewing habits of the people that live there. And for those that live in Dallas County and Lowndes County, they watch Montgomery television. So let's go down and look at that real quick for those that, and of course, what's happening here is we make the transition from the traditional television model to the streaming model. These boundaries don't make any sense anymore because anybody can watch anybody these days. But again, this is your tornado warning polygon for parts of Dallas and Lowndes counties. Montgomery is here, and again, you can see possibly a tornado that's located here, which is located down in the far southern part of Dallas County. This is Selma. This is U.S. Highway 80. And again, this is the Alabama River right here that goes down into Wilcox County. And again, that possible tornado would be right in through here. This is down Alabama Highway 41, runs out of Selma, down to Sardis and down to Camden. Possible tornado here, moving to the northeast. And again, that will be crossing out of Dallas County into Lowndes County. The greatest danger initially is south of US 80. It might be near Highway 80 in Lowndes County, west of Montgomery at some point down the line here. But again, our friends in Montgomery will be covering this for our friends that are watching down there in Dallas and Lowndes. So one more time, it is quiet, and we can pretty much declare the evening just about done. Can't promise that. There are no promises in the weather business. I mean, none. But again, for up this way, you can see it's just raining. The air is increasingly stable. It's been stable much of the day today, but the wind fields are decreasing. The low-level jet is decreasing. And again, there's just not much happening right now. And the storms in Cullman County are well below severe limits. So at this point, it's coming up on 11:20. We're going to stop our weather coverage and go into our news coverage. And again, we'll be back with weather updates here during this newscast. So we are going to wrap up our long-form weather coverage tonight and go into ABC 3340 News at 10 o'clock that starts now. And we're back. I'm James Spann. We have a new tornado warning in effect here at 12:03. This is for parts of Shelby County, so let's go right into this. Again, this is part of a line segment of the line of storms that has been progressing through the state. Let's look at our velocity display, and you can see the polygon does include US 280. It includes Chelsea. It includes Westover, Harpersville, Vincent, Vandiver, Donovan. And again, we've got this small TDS, or a tornado debris signature, that is currently over parts of Shelby County and the southern part of the city of Chelsea. And again, this is US Highway 280 right here. The Chelsea City Hall would sit right here. Liberty Baptist Church sits right here. Chelsea Middle School and the high school would be right down through here. And again, this is, again, I'm sorry, Chelsea High School is here. The middle school is here. That's your tornado debris signature here. And this will likely be crossing US Highway 280 a little to the east of Chelsea. Again, the Publix would be about right here. And again, the Walgreens would be here. The McDonald's would be right here. This is going to be crossing Highway 280 just a little to the east maybe of those places. But look, if you're in the polygon, you need to be in a safe place. We don't want to get too specific on this, but again, we're starting to see a lowered CC here, lowered correlation coefficient. So again, the storms are ramping up again about the time you think it's safe to go to bed here. So we've got a tornado warning that is in effect for parts of Shelby County. And again, this is County Road 43 right here. All right, County Road 43 goes over towards Sterrett. This is Donovan Valley Road. Donovan Valley Road is not in the polygon. The greatest chance of a tornado here is going to be a little to the south of County Road 43. This is Westover here. You've got Harpersville right here, and that's going to be crossing Highway 280 really in the vicinity of Westover. So again, we have a tornado warning here as we start a new day on Thursday, the 31st of March. With a tornado debris signature located in the southern part of the city of Chelsea. This moving towards the northeast. So a tornado warning in effect now for Shelby County. And this will be in effect until, let's see, 12:30 for the next 25 minutes. So we now have a confirmed tornado based on radar. And again, this is Alabama Highway 25 right here. To get your bearings straight, that's US 280. Tornado debris signature right here, US 280, Alabama Highway 25, Vandiver and Sterrett. So that will be crossing Highway 280 near Westover, then coming out towards Sterrett. Calcis out here on Highway 25. That's the road that runs between Harpersville and Leeds. This is County Road 55 right here. This is County Road 43 right here. And again, Forest Lakes, the neighborhood sits right here off County Road 43. This is Donovan Valley Road. And again, Donovan Valley Road is not in the polygon. Mount Laurel, no. Shoal Creek, no. Not in this polygon. This is for areas to the south of there. So we now have a TDS, a tornado debris signature on radar, and that's going to be crossing Highway 280 very soon. And don't go look for this. Again, these tornadoes are totally wrapped in rain. And again, this will likely be crossing Highway 280. This is Shelby County Road 51 right here. That's 55 going back over towards Sterrett from Westover. And that's 55 going south below Westover. So just be aware that this most likely will be affecting areas just a little to the east of Chelsea, near the community of Westover. And again, that tornado is likely going to be crossing Highway 280 soon. So here's the deal in terms of travel. We don't want you driving on US 280 between, let's say, Donovan Valley Road, that's Shelby County 41, and Harpersville for about the next 15 minutes. So again, if you're listening to us with our radio partners, we do not want travel on US 280 between Donovan Valley Road and Harpersville until this thing crosses Highway 280. Soon we can give you an all clear. And we stress this is the only tornado warning in our end of the state. This is very isolated, but it's clearly there. And again, that TDS, the tornado, is about to cross Highway 280 right now, near the intersection of Shelby County Road 51, which is this road right here. This is Shelby County 55 at Westover. That's County Road 51 right here. This is old US Highway 280 right here. Now it's County Road 280, but that tornado is basically coming right up and going to cross 280. And that is a dangerous storm. So again, we now have a tornado warning for parts of Shelby County. This does not include any part of I-65 or US 31. This is far east of there. This is for basically Highway 280 and points north and east as debris is clearly being lofted from this tornado. And we hope that you have a weather radio and it alarmed you and you are awake and you're watching us. That's the way that it should work. That's the reason those things are worth their weight in gold. So again, TDS, Shelby County coming up on Highway 280. And again, I quite frankly, it looked like these storms were getting ready to go to bed for the night. But that's sometimes storms do not behave as you think that they will. Heard it years and years ago from the great Al Mohler, one of the great meteorologists in our time, who passed away tragically several years ago. He said, when it comes to thunderstorms, expect the unexpected. And this is certainly a case here tonight where this thing is ramped up very quickly. For the rest of North Alabama, things are quiet. But again, right now, this is a tornado warning in effect for central Shelby County for the possibility of a tornado. It's there. I say possibility. Debris is being lofted. It is a confirmed tornado, confirmed by radar. And as debris is being lofted, probably up to about 9,000 feet. And right now, that thing is right on top of 280. There's your TDS right on top of 280 at Westover. And again, this is Shelby County Road 51, Shelby County Road 55 right here. This is all just a little east of Chelsea, and that will continue moving pretty much down 55 down towards Sterrett down here. So if you are in, obviously, Westover, you should be sheltered, but the next concern will be Sterrett, which is over here on Alabama Highway 25, this place right here. Highway 25 runs from Vincent back up to Leeds, but again, you've got Sterrett here. This is Vandiver. Donovan is really not quite in the polygon here, but Vandiver, Sterrett, these communities are. And again, that TDS is moving up in this direction. So for those of you along Highway, first of all, County Road 55, which is this road right here, that's a fairly highly trafficked road from Sterrett back down to Westover and Highway 280. If you're close to County Road 55, or along Alabama Highway 25. Steer it back over to Vandiver. You need to be in a safe place. And again, this is Shelby County Road 43 right here. So again, we have a tornado warning in effect for the next 20 minutes as we have a confirmed tornado. This is confirmed with a tornado debris signature now that's sitting right on top of Highway 280 at Westover in Shelby County. Soon we'll be able to give an all clear for the 280 corridor, but not yet, as this potential tornado is crossing the highway now. It's pretty much on Old US 280 or County Road 280. And again, that'll be coming out here toward Alabama 25. Sterrett and Vandiver and Donovan, which is here. This is the mountain here, that spot right there. That's where a lot of folks get up there. The motorcycle guys love to get on that peak and look out over the valley up here. That's a very scenic drive, Alabama 25. It's mountainous. It's almost like driving in the Great Smokies or something. But we've got the lowered CC, the debris signature on radar coming up toward Highway 25. So again, give us about 2 minutes. We can clear US 280. The next concern is Alabama Highway 25. Again, especially the communities of Vandiver and Sterrett. And from there, if it holds together, the next county in line here, this is St. Clair County. Again, this is Wolf Creek right here. And again, ultimately it goes to Pell City. We'll just have to see how this whole thing plays out. If you're in St. Clair County, watch this. And we're watching it carefully as well. So that's a possible tornado that is now north of US Highway 280, east of Chelsea, near Westover, moving up here toward Highway 25, specifically Vandiver and Sterrett. If you're in any of these communities, you want to be in a safe place. Small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. If you can, wear a helmet. I know it's not fun to put a helmet on in a bathroom at 12:12 a.m. on a Thursday morning, but remember, you know, it's a life decision that you need to make. Some decisions are hard, some are easy. This one's not that hard. You've got a confirmed tornado on the way, so anybody with a Vandiver Sterrett mailing address, you need to be sheltered. Again, the debris signature is right here. It is now well to the north of Highway 280, so we can clear US Highway 280. For those that are needing to drive, we'll give you an all clear now. That stretch from County Road 41, Donovan Valley Road down to Harpersville, you're good to go on 280. Now we do not want anybody driving on Highway 25 from Vincent over to Donovan. If you can, just pull over and don't use that route. Probably not that many people at midnight drive Highway 25, but some might. So again, nobody should be on Alabama Highway 25 from Vincent all the way up to Donovan, and let's wait until this thing passes and let's see what it looks like. Let's check the velocity display if we can, Taylor, and see what that looks like. We've been watching the debris tracker, and the velocity, I think, is getting kind of noisy. I've noticed the lowering of the CC is not as intense as it was, and now we're starting to lose the classic signature here. We've still got the lowered CC, and again, sometimes when a tornado dissipates, the debris will stay aloft for a little while, even though the tornado is dissipated. So the best possible case is that the tornado is dissipating, the debris is still being lofted, and soon we'll lose the debris signature and everything goes away. That might be the case. We hope that's the case, but again, as long as the polygon is up, respect the polygon and stay in a safe place. And again, to get your bearings straight, Shelby County Road 43 is this one right here. It goes from Vandiver down to 280. Donovan Valley Road is this one here, and the polygon is just south of Donovan Valley Road. So, but the main concern, it's this Highway 25 stretch up and through here. So again, we've got a broad area of lowered correlation coefficient right now, but the velocity signature is looking awfully noisy. And so I think there perhaps is a decent chance that this is getting disorganized and hopefully the tornado is dissipating. We don't expect long track tornadoes with these, but we've had tornado damage tonight. It's been a rough day. Yesterday was a very rough day with gradient wind damage. We had wildfires. We've had tornadoes. But I know of no fatalities. That's the good news I can tell you. We've had some minor injuries. I've heard of no major injuries or life-threatening injuries. But again, we're still getting some of the reports in. And if we can take WEX 05 really quick, Dennis, I wanted to show Fawnsdale. This is down in Marengo County. And did I do that, Dennis? Or maybe, there we go. Or maybe I did that. We'll try that again in just a minute. It's late. So again, we've got a thunderstorm segment that has shown evidence of producing a tornado. There was a very well-defined debris signature through southern Chelsea and Westover, and now we've kind of lost the tornado signature on radar. Let's look at the correlation coefficient product again. And again, it's this spot right in through here where we've got debris that is still being lofted. And we're close to the radar beam. We're getting a good low-level slice here, but it looks like it's beginning to fade. And hopefully on the next volume scan, it will go away. That would be the best possible scenario here. And again, watching some reports. I'm sorry, Taylor?
Looks like it just with this latest scan.
Oh, it came back up.
Yeah.
So again, it's hanging in there. And this is going to be crossing Highway 25 near Sterrett and moving up in the direction of St. Clair County. So the lowering has increased again, and it might be cycling, and it looks like it might be ramping up again. So this thing is pretty much along Alabama Highway 25 at this point, and will continue to move northeast. And this is part of a line of storms. And I'm watching other warnings. The other warnings are being issued down to the south, parts of Autauga, Elmore, Lowndes, Montgomery. And again, Montgomery will cover that. We're going to focus on this particular thunderstorm in northeastern Shelby County. But again, if you're in Chelsea, the danger's over. Westover, the danger's over. The part of Shelby County with the concern is this far, far northeastern tip of the county. And again, the TDS is about to cross Alabama Highway 25 between Calcis and Sterrett, and that's going to keep on moving up towards St. Clair County. And if that thing stays in place, the Weather Service will be posting a tornado warning for parts of St. Clair County. Again, we are watching reports. This has come over a pretty densely populated area. When we first saw the tornado debris signature, it was over parts of Chelsea. A lot of homes are in that area. And I have not seen any specific reports of damage at this point coming out of Shelby County. But again, it's very early, and often we don't get the reports until later because of the lack of good communication or the lack of cell service or something that happens here. So, but again, for the moment, I don't have any reports of damage coming in from Shelby County. And all the damage reports are coming in from other tornadoes from earlier last night. But our tornado debris signature is now moving a little north of Highway 25. It's kind of splitting the difference here between the town of Sterrett and the little community of Calcis, and that's going to be crossing over toward Wolf Creek here in St. Clair County. A lot of folks in Shelby County take Wolf Creek Road as a shortcut going over here to Pell City, coming out of Shelby County. I drive that road a lot. So again, if you're anywhere near Wolf Creek, just be aware that you might be under a tornado warning here soon, and think about what you will do if you go under a tornado warning. But let's look at the velocity again. I wanted to see what this thing looks like. And again, it's interesting. We're getting the lowered correlation coefficient, but the velocity looks like nothing's there. So again, on the velocity display, we wouldn't see anything. But again, you go to the dual polarization product, and we're seeing some evidence of still some debris in this particular updraft or tornado if it's still there. And that certainly looks like a tornado, even though it's fairly large. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Weather Service and see if they extend this up into St. Clair County. And, this might be more noise than it, again, you can see it flare here. Again, it flared real quick. So here it comes. And right there, it looked pretty good. And now it's gotten broad again as it comes over on the other side of Highway 25. So we're kind of losing the TDS one more time. And the Weather Service will make a decision here in a moment if they're going to issue a warning for parts of St. Clair County. Again, watching the reports coming in, there's so much damage across the state. And what's interesting, we have the three issues here. We have the tornadoes, we have the line of thunderstorms with damaging straight line winds, and then we have the gradient winds that blew all afternoon and evening ahead of this line of storms. And it can be hard sorting out what caused the damage. Was it a tornado? Was it the gradient winds? Was it straight line thunderstorm winds? But it certainly looks like we've had a lot across the state here. So this warning for Shelby County is about to end because the storm is about to move out of Shelby County into St. Clair. To get your bearings straight, this is Highway 231 right here. Wolf Creek Road runs right through here. Vanderbilt back over to Wolf Creek and Pell City. Interstate 20 is up here. This is Old U.S. Highway 78 here. This is Logan Martin Lake. Cropwell is here. And this is Talladega County over here. And again, if you're in Pell City, we're watching this. We're all watching this together to watch for radar trends. And I wish I could show you live video of this, but even if we had a camera right in the middle of this thing looking at it, all you're going to see it's darkness and rain, which is the way it goes when you've got a tornado debris signature out here late at night. I'm getting a report, Taylor, that there's been some damage at Chelsea Farms with trees down. And there's no doubt this thing was down, and it came through a very densely populated residential part of Chelsea. And again, that's a public report. I've got a report, no visual damage in Chelsea Park, and the tornado likely passed a little east and south of Chelsea Park. So anyway, we're going to get more reports as the night goes on here, but I'm afraid there has been some damage to some of the neighborhoods in the southern and eastern part of Chelsea. But we're watching what could be some tornado debris that's about to cross over into St. Clair. But let's look at the velocity again. We're not getting any correlation here between that and this. There's just no signature at all of a tornado here. And I'm beginning to think that the lowered correlation coefficient, it's something else. It's not necessarily tornado debris. It might be a biological target, as birds or insects or something else. I don't know. But looking at this velocity, this is not indicative of any tornado activity here. So again, that's not a tornado signature here. But again, still, if you're in Wolf Creek, Pell City, Cropwell, just kind of keep an eye on this thing, and we'll know in a matter of moments here if the Weather Service will be extending this. They are focused on a warning down to the south for parts of Autauga, Elmore, Montgomery counties. But again, for this one, they're watching as well. And we'll see that the better instability for tornadoes is down south. There's basically no unstable air here. And again, you can see the line of storms has now moved out of Shelby County. It's over here into St. Clair. It's about to start raining heavily in Pell City, down Highway 231. But again, looking at the velocity, there's just nothing there. So I think what we've been seeing for the last 10 minutes, it's not necessarily tornado debris, but something else where you got the lowered correlation coefficient here. And again, this is all noise right down in through here, as that is noise. But let's look at the big picture really quick. I want to look at the reflectivity and show you that the worst of the weather is now east of Birmingham. And we do note there's a flood advisory for parts of the Birmingham metro here. There's a tornado warning down to the south. This includes parts of Elmore County for a storm that's coming out of the Montgomery area. And again, the reason we are here, it's this little bitty small part of Shelby County where there was a tornado warning earlier. And again, there's pretty much no doubt that we've had some type of damage in some of the neighborhoods in Chelsea, the southern and far eastern part of Chelsea down toward Westover. With a tornado. There was a very good tornado debris signature, and the warning was popped about the time it happened. And now we're not getting any good evidence of a tornado here at all. We just got a lot of heavy rain falling with only 2 lightning strikes from near Attalla down to about Asheville, Pell City, Cropwell, down to Lake Mitchell, Clanton, and just west of Montgomery down toward Prattville. So we'll kind of keep an eye on this. And again, if you're in East Alabama, as always, watch. You've got a tornado watch. There's a tornado watch for the far eastern side of the state until 7 o'clock this morning. And there's still a low chance there could be a brief spin-up tornado like that as the storms move on to the east. So we'll keep watching these. But let's go back into this area here. The reason we're here, it's the Shelby County, the northeastern part of Shelby County. And really, those storms have exited the county. They are out of the county, now affecting Logan Martin Lake, Pell City, Highway 231, down toward the Logan Martin Dam. No lightning strikes at all here. And again, this warning should be going out in a moment since the storms are out of Shelby County. And it seems as though most of the damage reports I'm getting, it's from the Chelsea Farms neighborhood off County Road 69, Shelby County Road 69, where we've had some damage with this tornado. And again, we clearly had debris being lofted earlier when it was coming through that part of Chelsea. But I've heard of nothing beyond that, and we've heard of no specific damage up toward Highway 25 around Sterrett and Calcis and those kind of places. And again, you can see that that line segment that dropped that tornado near Chelsea, of course, Chelsea's back here, that debris signature was right in through here, south and east of Chelsea. That segment is in St. Clair County, again on top of Logan Martin Lake, about to move into Talladega County. And again, that warning will probably go out here in a matter of moments. We do have some flood advisories in effect for these storms, and they have canceled the warning for Shelby. So let's X that thing out. Thank you. So we now have no tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings for our end of the state at this point. So again, this is now off the board. But again,
if you have a severe thunderstorm warning for that part of Shelby, but that's exiting as well, so that should be canceled too.
Yeah, exit out. Well, it really, because again, the line is out of the county now. The line is over here into Talladega County. So the tornado warning is off the board. The severe thunderstorm warning is off the board. We've got these aerial flood advisories for the possibility of flooding with this heavy rain. But again, the storms are moving pretty quickly. That's the good news, and the storm should be out of the state by 3 a.m., at least our end of the state up and through here. Let's look at this Montgomery thing real quick, just as a curiosity factor. And again, obviously, the Montgomery television stations are covering this. We've got a tornado warning that includes the city of Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka. Let's go to MXX. Let's look at the velocity and see what they're looking at here. Not exactly a classic signature here. And again, they're hard. You know, all the time people talk about, boy, you did a great job April 27, 2011. You know, during those days, that's easy. A third grader could issue those warnings. With the radar signatures and what we could see that day, this is what's hard. This is the hard part of this business. These nighttime squall line tornadoes that get down for a couple of minutes and they're come and they go. You know, by the time you get on TV and get the warning out, the damage is already done. The tornado's already back up, and they're very hard to deal with. And this is a classic example of that tonight. This is the hard part of meteorology. But again, we have a tornado warning in effect now for parts of Elmore, Autauga, Montgomery, and Lowndes counties, including the city of Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Eclectic. But again, they're dealing with this down in Montgomery on Montgomery television stations. So let's go back to the big view if we can. And again, I'm getting a lot of reports of, you know, we've clearly got some damage down in parts of the Chelsea area, especially the southern and eastern, some of the neighborhoods down there. And again, we'll get much more specific here as we go through the night, and we'll know much more, of course, at the first light of day. That's the one thing about it. When we have events like this, you really don't know until the next morning exactly what's happened till you get some daylight going on here. Dennis, let's try that Wexo 5 again. Let's see if I can work some magic on this thing here. That is the post office at Fawnsdale down in Marengo County. Just wanted to show you, this is what some parts of the state have been dealing with tonight. And they took a pretty good little hit. And why that's not playing, I don't know. But anyway, go back to the still. Downtown Fawnsdale took a really good hit from a tornado. The Fawnsdale Oyster Bar and Grill, you know, North Marengo County, that's along Highway 25 at US 80. And so many parts of the state have had very significant tornado damage tonight. So we'll go back to the radar. And we're going to watch the line of storms pushing into East Alabama. And again, this is off the board. The tornado warning is gone for Shelby County. The severe thunderstorm warning is gone. There are no active warnings for our end of the state. And we'll keep an eye on this rotation near Montgomery, and that'll be coming up toward Coosa and Tallapoosa, specifically Tallapoosa County. But it's just a lot of rain here. 5 lightning strikes here. And again, the severe weather threat is over west of Birmingham. You're good. And really, for Jefferson County, it's over. For most of Shelby County, it's over. You're done for the event. One and done. But east of this line, right here, there's still the chance of a brief spin-up tornado for the next few hours until it gets out of the state. Should be out of the state. Let's see, it's 12:30. I'd say it's clearly out of here by 3, probably by 2, or maybe 2:30 this morning. And then after that, we're done for a while. So we're going to go back to regular programming, and just be aware that if we have another warning, we'll come back. We're going to watch these storms very carefully. And again, our news department, they're collecting the damage reports from across the state, and we'll have all that on Good Morning Alabama. The morning program begins at 4:30 here. And again, we'll be watching the storms, and if we have any issues and if there are warnings issued, we'll be right back. But again, we stress, Anniston, Gadsden, there are no warnings. It's going to rain heavily. You'll have gusty winds, but there's no evidence of any severe weather and any of this stuff approaching from the west at this point. But we'll be watching, and we'll keep you advised. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sarallo live in the ABC 3340 Weather Center.